reminder of days past. Jeepneys were originally fashioned out of the military jeeps left behind by American troops after the Second World War. They were converted into brightly painted, cheap and cheerful minibuses. But the government's determined to get rid of them now. It's saying the jeepneys are unsafe and responsible for urban smog. Many jeepney drivers have already rejected a government offer to partially subsidize the purchase of new vehicles, saying they still can't afford the switch.
And that is BBC correspondent Celia Hatton reporting from the Philippines. News and analysis, townhall.com. Ukraine's presidential office reports at least 6 civilians killed, 5 others wounded. The latest round of Russian attacks.
In the Donetsk region, the Russian shelling struck Bakhmut, Kramatorsk, Chasiv Yar and other towns and villages, killing at least 1 person and wounding at least 5 others. Donetsk Governor Pavlo Pyrylenko says civilians are fleeing the region to escape Russian shelling continuing round the clock as additional troops and weapons are being deployed there. In neighbouring Luhansk, Regional Governor Serhiy Haidai adds Russians have been targeting villages in the region with heavy artillery, and in Kherson in the south, Russian shelling hit a church during Sunday prayers. I'm Charles Tuladesma.
Rioters attacked a public safety training center under construction in Atlanta over the weekend, throwing bricks, fireworks, Molotov cocktails, 3 dozen people arrested. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Welcome to it. A lot to unpack this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, just it seemed like, in the world, they had...
I hid for most of the weekend.
I did, but I saw like I watched the Chris Rock thing Saturday night.
Oh
boy, howdy that was.
Now, I haven't watched that yet. I'm working my way up to it.
That was wild. I want to tell you.
I think I'm saving that for a friend.
My wife and I watched it Saturday night after a basketball game here. Went to the house and got home just in time to pop that on Netflix and watched it. And it was good. You know what else I watched? I got to talk about some point in the show. I watched Friday night. My wife and I watched that 3-part documentary series on Netflix about the Murdaugh murders.
The ones that just wrapped up, right?
Yes, the one where the dad was convicted of the 2 life without parole kind of. He's going to jail for the rest.
He's going under the jail.
Yeah. Well, that's a story. Like I hadn't really paid attention. I just kind of saw in the news and
I hadn't really
saw like the testimony from the day and all that. Yeah, but. Man, I watched that doc. It's a whole mess. The whole family, they're like a little... It's like a legal... Like I think it was his great-granddad that started the law firm. The Murdaugh great-grand... The guy just went to jail. His grandfather or great-grandfather, I don't remember which, I think started this law firm in Carolina many, many moons ago. And so... So they're like that old money family, that lawyer family, and it's kind of like the mob, man. Like I guess his 2 kids. Here's what I think happened. he's a shady dude. If 1/10 of what happened in that documentary is true, there's not enough life sentences to give this guy.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the documentary because I don't even know the story really behind.
And to be honest, that story's not over yet. Like, I think that whole family, like, there might even be, like, he's going to jail for killing one of his sons and his wife. They may not be all that innocent either. The people that we know he killed. It's a whole thing. It is a thing. It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle. It's just a hot mess.
Dang.
And you're like, I mean, and I think it's years and generations of covering up. Basically, these two kids have done things, and then he's covered them up. I'm pretty sure he's been embezzling and taking all kind of stuff. He was okay. We're not just talking about two dead bodies. There was the two dead bodies that he got convicted for.
Right.
Well, the son that's dead that he killed, he killed some people in a boating accident before, and they tried to cover that up. He was drunk, and so that was swept under the rug. There's another kid that was schoolmates with the other brother that he ended up found dead in the middle of the road, like he got hit and run in his car. They say that wasn't a hit and run, and they think that brother, the one that's still alive in the courtroom, they think he was involved with that one.
Oh, wow.
Their housekeeper died at the house. She apparently they have dogs, and the claim was that down the front steps the dogs tripped her up and she hit her head and died a couple days later. Saying that may not be the case. They think that the mom may have pushed her, and they covered that up. And he's going to jail for embezzlement because he said he was going to sue himself to get money for the housekeeper's family. And he did that, but never gave them the money. But that's just the tip of the embezzlement. I think that's what alerted him to it. There's a whole nother.
It's a mess, man.
It is a mess. It's a mess and a mess.
It's one of those things where it's like you were able to successfully cover things up for so long and so successfully that once you open that hatch and like expose all the nonsense underneath, it's gonna come out in layers. I feel like it's what's gonna happen.
It's a hot mess, and it's straight out like a Law and Order, one of these TV shows episodes, and I could see why Netflix was quick to make the documentary.
I'm amazed at how quickly they put the documentary out while the trial was happening in like real time.
Well, and to be honest, a lot of this was pre-done legwork because this has been going on in the courts for years. It's just getting to our attention because they put it on the news.
Right.
But in that area, this has been going on because all this shooting and everything went down in 21. Like a lot of these stuff went down here just post-COVID. 2021's when a lot
tensions were high. I get it.
It's a thing. But yeah, I checked it out Friday night. So checked out the Chris Rock thing. I'll talk about that at some point. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to be joined here in just a few minutes. Captain, I hope I don't botch her name too much here. Captain Violeta Konkulik. She's with the New Mexico Military Institute. She's going to be joining us to talk about a forum on entrepreneurship that the Institute is holding on March 10th, and she's going to tell us all about that, how you can sign up, and things like that. So we'll have her join us in just a few.
Nice.
In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski. They joined us Friday from Main Street, Roswell, talking about some things coming up, talking about UFO Expo, which is this weekend. So we'll play that for you. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, I was going to play, I thought I'd play our interview we had last week with the new CEO of Loveless Hospital, Nick Sharilla. He joined us for about 20-25 minutes and talked a little bit about, I think he's been maybe a month now. There's about three weeks to a month he's been in town now.
Get his feet wet.
Yeah. Although New Mexico, he came to us from Texas, but prior to Texas, he was working at the Loveless facility in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
So he's not new to the Loveless family. He just kind of came back after going to Texas for a stint. So anyway, you'll learn that in the interview. Spoiler.
But now we got him here in the South 40.
So, plus we'll have all of your featured, include the news of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. How was your weekend?
Uneventful.
Okay, you hid.
Yeah, I hid. I had a little small incident happen on Saturday that I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna hide. Just not gonna
Everything
try.
okay?
That's fine.
Okay, good. Did you Catch them on programming, TV, anything?
No, just I'll say this. I'll say this as a summation statement. Treat your delivery people, to people who bring you things, treat them with respect.
Do you have a...
Just, that's all I'm saying. Treat them like human beings, because we're
salty
human
dog?
beings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, some people have no class. They're like school on Saturday. No class.
But yeah, I was just like, nah, that just soured me on it. So I'm like, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I'm just going to, hide and do me all weekend. It was nice. It's one of those things where it's like, when you're a kid and you don't have like activities, you're all bummed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're an adult, you ask an adult if they did anything all weekend, they go, I did nothing. It's truly wonderful.
It was glorious.
It's glorious.
See, this is like back in our day, you dealt with people that were like that. You know, this is why they invented the flaming bag of dog poop.
Right?
This is how we handled it back then. Now that's a terrorist attack. But anyway, not saying you should go do that, but I am saying, society used to handle people that acted like that. Now they can do whatever the heck they want. We just got to sit here and deal with it.
Yeah, times are changing, man.
Yep.
So much easier to deal with things, feces.
That's right. Oh, man. Hey, basketball playoffs continue. Congratulations to the Gatoraka boys, although they did fall Saturday in the first round of the state playoffs here. They had a great season. Congratulations, first-year coach. They got big things coming. So even though they had a tall Herculean task, they were the 16 seed going in to take on the 1 seed Albuquerque Academy on Saturday. End up falling 82-52, but they played them hard. And for those that got the chance to listen here on Saturday, it was a hard-fought game, but they fell. So the only team of the teams we cover are Artesia boys and girls. They continue on in the state playoffs. I know, I think there's a few local schools in there too, but as far as the ones we cover on the radio, just Artesia left. And Artesia boys, they are the 4 seed. They're going to take on the 12 seed Valley on Wednesday, 3 p.m. at the Pit. We'll have that game audio only on our sister station, 990 AM or 93.7 FM KSVP. You can hear audio only at ksvptv.com or on our Facebook wall. You can also check out the girls. They're in action. They are the 5 seed in Artesia. They're going to take on the 4 seed Hope Christian tomorrow at 8 a.m. At the Pit in Albuquerque. Again, we'll have that game for you on 990 a.m. And then, of course, I think if they advance that game, they both don't play so the girls will play again on Wednesday, the boys on Thursday, I believe, after that. So that's what we got. So we'll see, and we'll carry them as far as to the Blue Trophy or as long as they go. So, all right, it is 7:16. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure developing to our east with downslope flow, and that'll keep us very mild today. Our afternoon highs in the lower 80s. Some sun and some clouds and just a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy and we'll drop into the mid and upper 40s. Looks like some more cloud cover coming in on Tuesday. Slightly cooler. We'll stay in the mid to upper 70s. Cloudy on Wednesday and about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35%, and winds are actually calm at the moment. Another warm day today in the 80s, partly cloudy and 82. Winds out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, looking at an overnight low of 44 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny and 78. Actually, I'm sorry, mostly cloudy, but 78. That part's right. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night as well, with an overnight low of 46. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, back up in near 80 under partly cloudy skies. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Thursday, mostly sunny and 77. Friday, sunny and 72. And weekend looking nice as well. Sunny and 76 on Saturday. Mostly sunny, 74 on Sunday. So I know it's only March, but it feels like a week of spring to me here in Roswell, southeast New Mexico. All right, it is 7:18. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten for your Monday morning. Take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we'll talk to Violeta Konkulik from the New Mexico Military Institute on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A nice early spring run shaping up for today. We expect to sell 1,550 head. Break it down like this: 125, 150 weigh cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs bred cows, 1,250 to 1,300 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 50 registered Angus bulls from the New Mexico Angus Association bull sale. There are also 12 registered Angus heifers. These cattle will sell at 1 p.m. 45 good Holstein weigh cows off two dairies, 42 weigh cows, good medium flesh off one ranch, 40 to 50 young and middle-aged bred cows, 90 calves and light yearlings, the Bruton Ranch, San Antonio, New Mexico. Ex-quality Charolais crossbreds, cattle weigh 90-plus days, cake and grass, 500, 650 pounds, 97 calves, Mr. William Lindsay at Hillsborough, New Mexico. Ex-quality black white-face Angus cross calves, cattle weighing 30, 45 days, one round of shots, 500, 650 pounds, 50 calves, RS Cattle Company, Belen, New Mexico. Good quality black white-face, red white-face crossbred calves, cattle weighing 60 days, two rounds of shots, 500, 700 pounds, 120 calves, Emo Keeney and Sons, El Paso, Texas. Ex-quality black white-face Angus crossbreds, some F1 crossbreds, cattle weighing 45 days, one round of shots, 400, 650 pounds, 25 steer calves, Mr. Steve Haynes, Artesia, New Mexico. Ex-quality black Brangus cross calves, cattle weighing 90 days, 500, 650 pounds, 58 calves, WP Ranches, Cherokee, Texas. Ex-quality black white-face, red white-face English crossbreds, cattle weighing 30, 45 days, 400, 650 pounds, and 23 calves, Mr. Oscar Medley at Fort Davis, Texas. Ex-quality black and red Angus cross calves, cattle weighing 45 days, 350, 450 pounds. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30 to 10:45. Also, don't forget about the New Mexico Angus Association bull sale right here, 1 p.m. and come back, finish up the sale on calves and yearlings following the bull sale. We expect to sell 1,550 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate, the scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays, a stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes, and insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in, and in the summer it keeps heat out and cool in. For our Four Seasons weather, get Four Seasons windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment, 575-755-7663, or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
Get ready for the most out-of-this-world weekend Roswell has ever seen. UFO Expo 2023, March 10th through the 12th at the Roswell Convention Center. 3 days packed with 40 different events, including 10 different film screens, producers, celebrity personalities, and renowned speakers, and all just a few blocks from the UFO Museum and Research Center. The 3-day pass includes VIP parties, mixer tents, speakers, live music, film festival, cosplay events, and more. Get tickets and more info at ufoxpo.com. UFO Expo 2023, March 10th through the 12th at the Roswell Convention Center.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the New Mexico Military Institute. She told me her name properly, and I'm probably still going to botch it, but I'm going to try not to. Joining us in studio this morning is Captain Violetta Consulich. Consulich. I was
pretty close.
Closer.
Pretty close.
I was closer.
Yes.
First off, good morning. How are you today?
Well, good morning. Good. How are you?
Doing well. Before we talk about the event that you want to promote here, Violetta, let's talk a little bit about, because you were a graduate of the Institute, now for the last 4 years an instructor at the Institute, but United States isn't even your natural home, is it? You actually came from a different place, and now, not only did you come to NIMI as a student, but now part of the staff. That's pretty cool. But tell just a little bit about your story.
Yes, of course. I came to the Institute in 2015 on a volleyball scholarship, played for Coach Shelby for 2 years, graduated with my associates, left, got my bachelor's, and then the Institute hired me to come and teach business classes. So I've been at the Institute since 2019, teaching business, accounting, financial literacy.
So, but between a student and now staff, you got quite a few years of seniority there at the campus, I think.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. So I'm curious, what when you were here as a student, did you always think in the back of your mind you wanted to come back here and teach, or
no,
did that just kind of
no,
the planets aligned a certain way?
It just happened that way. I never really thought I'd be back, but plans changed.
So your day classes, is it all business, like classes preparing students for business degrees or owning their own business someday?
Yes.
Okay.
So we actually have business concentration, and all of our classes transfer to other schools.
Okay.
So I ended up taking all of the business classes that I could here at the Institute. So that allowed me to graduate in the next 2 years. I did not have to take an additional semester or anything like that, because all of our classes transfer.
It's nice when that happens sometimes.
Yes, it is.
Especially if you have to repeat a class. You're like, I know all this. I've done all this already.
Exactly.
But still, you're like, I could have been working on another class at this point. But
yes.
Yeah, and that's something true with that, and you can attest to us more than anybody else. The New Mexico Military Institute is a great... Whatever your goal is, they're excellent at getting you there. And I know a lot of people think because of the military style and the way they do the training and education, they think it's like you're committed to military service or thing, and it's none of that. Sure, if you would like to join the military afterwards, guess what? They're going to get you ready.
Yes.
You can get involved with ROTC, and if your goal is to go to an academy or go in as an officer in one of the branches of the military, they're going to get you everything you need for that. However, there's no obligation for that. I would say most of the students that go to the Institute don't spend a day in the military. They go on to college, or they go on to open their business, or go on to whatever their passions are.
Yes, there's so many of my friends that came there with me at the same time that are owning small businesses right now, and a very small percentage of our student body actually ends up in the military.
Yeah.
But those that want to we can get them in. We do the early commissioning program. We can prep them for one of the academies. It's just whatever the student wants to do, we can get them there.
Absolutely.
But the discipline and time management you learn at the Institute really, really, really helps later on in the future.
Absolutely. I imagine for you, that's probably some of the best life lessons that you've had that you've been able to apply since your time graduating from the Institute.
Some of the hardest ones and the best ones.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, I learned it the hard way by being in the military. They put me through those, so that's where I got it. But yeah, you get that same thing through the Institute, and it doesn't matter if you're going to be an artist, if you're going to be a business owner or Fortune 500 company CEO, doesn't matter. These skill sets will give you a guide to do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
There. Now, that being said, for folks who are interested, you're hosting a seminar here on the 10th. And this is kind of an entrepreneurship seminar, but you're bringing in a lot of, I guess, be it virtually through guest speakers, a lot of famous people that are looked at and respected nationally, internationally in some cases here, and talking about their values of leadership and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And how they got to back down where they're being the mentor to someone else. So
yes.
It's really a lot of that kind of stuff, right?
Well, yes. So what's happening is that it's starting Friday evening. The doors will open at 6:30, and we will be in Daniel's Leadership Center.
Okay.
If you're not sure where it's at, it's that new building.
Yeah, it's
right across the golf course.
Exactly.
On
If
the
you know
19th.
where the driving range is, right.
Yes.
Actually, the main entrance to the golf course and the club. Right across 19th is the Daniels Leadership.
Yes.
There's a little turn in a little bit before the golf course turn in. You just follow that around. It takes you right
in front of the building.
In the front of the Daniels building. There.
Yes. So we will have a couple of different speakers on Friday evening. We have Slađana Cvjetinović representing Target Sports USA.
Okay.
Or I should say Delmich Enterprises.
Okay.
They're a firm out of Connecticut. Originally started as an ammunition company, and now they've branched into different ventures.
Okay.
So she's going to talk to us about the good, the bad, and the ugly side of building a business from scratch.
Okay.
She's been the right hand to Misha Delmich, who's the owner. So she's going to talk to our students about what it looks like to build a business from scratch.
Especially when you get a business like that where it was probably, grassroots, very small. I mean, obviously it's not now, but from when you look at every company in the world, Coca-Cola, even the McDonald's, the ones that, are internationally known,
Yes.
they all started with like one person in their vision or their dream or working out of their garage or you know what I mean? It all,
Yes.
And now, and so this is an example of one of those companies that started out not even offering the same products originally that they were offering. And so how they had to pivot and either, pivot and succeed or not change and drown. And so you get to hear some of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it.
Exactly. Then the next morning, so the forum is starting Friday evening, and then we're doing Saturday morning as well. We will start at 7:30. The doors will open, and then at 8 we have our first speaker, and that's going to be Mr. Dick Varnell, a graduate of the Institute from '62. He's actually the main reason that this forum even started, that we have it. He's our main sponsor, and in 2011 he approached Colonel Terry Garvey and asked her, or actually told her he would like to donate to the Institute and to our business department in a meaningful way.
Oh, cool.
So two of them sat down and tried to figure out what's the best way to bring entrepreneurship to our students. Now, not everybody has that entrepreneurship mind, so Terry decided, well, how about we bring these people that are successful, that have their own businesses, and tell our students what it really looks like to run a business.
Sure.
So every year since 2011, with the exception of 2021 and 2022, the COVID years, yes, we've had this forum, and we usually bring in local business owners, and then if we can get somebody from out of state.
Sure.
This year we have Dana Marley representing Marley LLC.
Yeah.
And then we also have Emiliano Tenorio, Trustmark Roofing.
Oh, great.
So two of them, both graduates of the Institute.
Yeah.
And
both great people in our community.
Yes,
Absolutely.
local people, very involved in Roswell community, will be on campus telling us about their businesses.
Absolutely.
After that, at 11:15, we're going to have a panel discussion with all of our guest speakers. And our students will be able to ask them questions. We're also inviting Roswell community to come and participate.
Sure.
It is open to public. It is free of charge.
Not every entrepreneur out there is currently attending the New Mexico Military Institute. If you're in town, and it's open to everyone.
Yes.
It's not just for students or for people that have interest in the New Mexico Military. Certainly, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
But anybody that just wants to learn a little bit about some insight on entrepreneurship, perhaps get some not even it's the ancillary stuff, the things like you go to school and they're like, you need this degree, you need, you know what I mean? There's kind of those boxes you check. This is all the X factor stuff they don't necessarily teach you in a classroom per se. It's life learned type things, experiences. Actually doing the job and the knowledge and wisdom you gain from that. You're now getting to get a slice of that side of it, because doing a business on paper probably is pretty, if you do it easy, it's like, oh, well, I got to get the permit here and check, we got a business. But the real fun is opening the shop and doing the business. And like you said, not everyone's set up to be an entrepreneur, but the problem is, some are creative types. Some are the ones that create the widget, the product that you're going to do, and that's their passion. But when it comes to bookkeeping and marketing and all the things involved into making that thing a business, that's where they don't excel, and that's where you can come in and help with something.
Exactly. That's what we try.
Yeah.
Mr. Dick Vernell has been very amazing. He actually challenged his graduating class to donate to this forum as well, and he said that he would match their donation 1-to-1 up to $50,000.
Wow.
So he's been gracious and helped our students really understand the insights of running a business. And he will be one of our speakers as well.
Well, there's a reason why he's considered one of the greatest coaches, in sports. Just what he's done in the NFL, and not so much what he's done on the field, but what he's done off the field as far as his leadership of his players and what he's done, and obviously giving back and staying involved, because I imagine Dick Vermeil made a lot of money coaching, but probably where his real is the entrepreneurship side, and because that's a volatile industry, being coaching. You got a job one minute, the next minute you're out on your butt looking for a new job, and so guys like that have to have a plan B.
Yes.
Fortunately, Dick was good enough to where, his plan B was, well, another team will take me because I'm really good. And he spent some time, he's been at the highest level of sports here. So
I think we might be talking about two different people.
Maybe I am.
You're getting me confused.
I'm thinking of Dick Vermeil, the coach and former. It must be a different Dick Vermeil.
Different.
All right, now we're good. Okay, because I was like, oh, cool, good for him. I was wondering what he's been up to lately. So what's this Dick Vermeil then? If I'm not the sports guy I'm thinking of.
He is an entrepreneur. He's running a couple of different companies.
I'm glad you cleared this up because there'll be a bunch of people going, well, this don't look like Dick Vermeil. Right? I know. Oh, that's funny.
He's actually, he has his engineering and he's a certified public accountant.
Okay.
Yes. So
I bet he gets that all the time.
He's all in oil and gas industry.
I'm thinking of a different Dick Vermeil. Sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
I'm guessing I'm not the only idiot who's done that. Okay. Well, that clears up because I'm sure that Dick Vermeil's great. I'm sure this one's another, obviously, to be where he's
amazing.
at, too. So,
he's amazing.
Even if he's maybe not good at coaching football. Very good. Excellent. But so really, he's kind of the one who
who started
who
it.
fostered this and kind of got the flames going.
Yes. He just wanted to give back to the Institute.
Is he a graduate of
Yes,
Okay, cool.
graduate of Institute.
Oh, sweet.
Which is
Okay.
why he wanted to give back to our cadets and help them do something similar.
Okay.
So it all started in 2011 when him and Colonel Terry Garvey sat down and discussed how he could donate in a meaningful way.
Okay.
And they figured out, hey, why don't we have local businesses, business owners, and some other successful entrepreneurs come and tell us what it really looks like to run your own business.
Sure.
We always have our cadets attend it. It is mandatory for our business classes, and they always seem to love it. And then we do have some community involvement as well. We're hoping that we can get community to really come out and enjoy
Support
this event.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
yes.
if there are businesses, things listening, want to get involved, reach out.
Yes.
And see if you can help them and talk to them about any way to get involved, whether it's a
Absolutely.
sponsorship or something like
Yes.
that. I am curious on signups here. What's for the public and things? What's the best? Is it to go to Facebook and do it, or call you direct, or
There's really no sign up.
Okay, just come.
It's open to public. It's free. Just come. You'll find us in DLC.
Yeah.
You won't be able to miss us. We're all wearing uniforms.
Yes. And I imagine it's probably the only event that's going on at the Daniels Leadership Center this weekend.
Yes. So
again, what time Friday is it starting?
The doors open at 6:30 p.m. and then the event starts at 7.
Okay.
And following the event, we're going to have a little dessert bar.
Cool.
So feel free to come out and hang out with us, network. It's a great place to network as well.
Absolutely. And every time I've had food at the Institute, it's delicious, no matter whatever event it is. So it's going to be good.
And then Saturday morning, the doors will open at 7:30 in the morning, and our welcome and opening session starts at 8.
Very good. Now, from there, is it all pretty much in one room, or does it go into break-off sessions?
It's all going to be in the same room.
Okay, cool. Because anybody that's been to the Daniels Leadership Center, they got plenty of places to do all that. I was just
Yes, it's going to be the main one to your left.
Yes, very good. Because first time I went there, I was a little turned around, but definitely come out and I'm kind of curious because you teach business and obviously you came here as a student. Do you come across students? Because I always seem like we look at young people today and you think of goals and aspirations and is there a disconnect where sometimes people say, I want to be their ultimate goal, whatever it is. I want to be a Fortune 500 CEO. But it always seems like the mindset with some young folks is like, as soon as you roll out of college, where's the CEO section of the want ads? I'm going to apply for CEO and go be a CEO somewhere. And I mean, it seemed like there was a disconnect. It's like, no. Those folks, they don't come out 20 years old as CEOs. Mm-hmm. They come out at the lower levels of a company, and then they rise through the ranks. Or if they're starting their own business, then I guess technically you're a CEO.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you think you're going to roll up in $20,000 suits and cigars and doing all that kind of mess, you're got another thing coming. So I mean, is that a thing where you almost have to put their measurement and it's like, okay, I mean, it just seems that way to me, but I could be old and crotchety at this point.
No, it does happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting always, usually first day of class, we do a little icebreaker, getting to know each other. And I always ask, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be rich and I want to run my own company. I was like, okay, that is amazing, but
right.
Let's take a step back. How do you plan on getting there?
There's a lot of books that say how to be rich, but I don't know how many of them give you a step-by-step.
But some of our students really have amazing ideas, and some of our former students have succeeded.
Sure.
And they always come back and tell us that discipline and time management and just the culture that we have at the Institute and in our classrooms really, really help them later on in the future.
I'd be curious too, because I imagine like yourself, you're not original, and there's a lot of students at the Institute. They're from all over parts of the world here. How many of those folks take some of that and go back to their countries and say, I'm going to, just for instance, a student from Serbia or something that comes in and says, you know what, I want to take this. I'm going to to go and use these principles back in my hometown and things like that.
We have a big percentage of our international students that finish school here and end up going back
home. Go back to their homes.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing.
Starting their own businesses and becoming very successful.
I mean, sure, we'd love to some hang out here and be a part of our community and stuff, but
absolutely.
But it's great to see that they're taking the great things they're learning here, and not all of it's business. Some of it's whatever passion they have within the institute, and taking that back home to so in theory. The Institute is making the entire world a better place because they figure not just this
educating future leaders.
Love that. But again, come out it starts this Friday.
Yes.
It's at the New Mexico Military Institute Daniels Leadership Center there, right off 19th. You actually see it from the main highway pushed up to the back there.
Yes.
It's right across the 19th
golf
Street
course.
from the golf course and the driving range and everything there. Everything get there about 6:30 or is it 5:30? I'm sorry.
6:30.
6:30 Friday. And then everything will get underway about 7 and then come back the next morning. And for the day's events, again, it's completely free. Don't need to pre-register. You don't need to be a student or of the Institute. If you are a human being that has an interest in entrepreneurship, then we'd love to have you come out, whether you're a younger person or 137. We'd love to have you come out.
Absolutely.
Whatever, that you, and of course, I imagine too, if you do get some high school age or college age students that are looking for an opportunity to be at the Institute, there'll be plenty of people to talk to and maybe even get a tour and start that process if you want. But you're not
absolutely.
And again, don't think this is a marketing campaign to get kids to come to NIMBY. It's not. It's just presenting this information about entrepreneurship, making those connections. Hopefully, who knows? Is Dick going to be there? Or,
yes, he is going to be
there.
So
I imagine folks will get to meet and talk with him, and you know what? Who knows what kind of opportunities that can create too.
Exactly.
So, and I tell him I'm sorry I'm mistaken him for the football coach. I'm sure he gets it all the time. It's like I just saw a movie about that guy the other day. Oh man, I know he's got to get that because I mean that's a pretty memorable name for sports fans. Anyway,
I'll have to ask him.
Is there any information that you wanted to share that we missed or skipped or didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, we cover pretty much everything. Starting 6:30 Friday evening, and then doors will open at 7:30 next morning. If you're interested in learning more about our local business owners, we will have one session that will be online. One of our speakers, she was unable to make it to Roswell. So we are going to Zoom her in.
Okay. It's a little virtual.
Yes,
but a lot
little
of it's in
virtual.
Person, so good.
But everything else will be in person. Just a really, really good way for young people to learn more about entrepreneurship and then even possibly network.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's, to be honest, that's how businesses happen. And,
exactly.
A lot of times there's a little cocktail party or something and a couple people talking over some appetizers and drinks, and next thing you know, that's the path to a partnership or to a beautiful business opportunity.
And we will have snacks and food, so
rub elbows. Wear a monocle. I'm just kidding. But really, come out and listen. There's some great information. You're going to hear directly from the horse's mouth people that have chewed the dirt that you're hoping to go through and to experience. And so let their wisdom rub upon you. And to be honest, this is how you avoid making big mistakes, is by listening to others, find out what their mistakes were, learn from them, and then you avoid them yourself.
Absolutely.
I know some of us have to make the mistake for us to learn it. I'm usually one of those thick-headed people. But allegedly, there's a way to avoid that if you just pay attention and listen.
They say there
is. Very good. Well, Violetta, we appreciate you spending time with. Thank you for coming on. Love to have you come back and talk, even if just because I love hearing the stories of how folks come to Roswell, New Mexico. I'm not naturally from here either. I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area, so military brought me here. But it's always fascinating to hear the stories of how folks from all over the world end up right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Very cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll keep plugging away all week to remind folks to come out. And,
Sounds good.
And it's completely free. No sign-ups, nothing. Just show up 6:30, 6:45, Friday night at the Daniels Leadership Center here, and be ready to go at 7 p.m.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man. We'll see you here soon, hopefully.
Sounds good.
Good deal. All right, it is 7:47. Let us shut up and play some news, and then we'll follow that up with your Kim Commando update, your Chaves County sports update, and a few commercials to pay for food and whatnot for me. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The State House has endorsed a plan to ask voters to end New Mexico's status as the only state without a salaried legislature. The plan won approval Saturday, largely along party lines, with Democrats in favor. The newspaper says the plan would amend the New Mexico Constitution to establish a citizen commission that would set a salary for the state's 112 lawmakers. The measure is due to go before voters next year if the Senate agrees to the plan in the final 2 weeks of this year's session. An environmental group out of Santa Fe called Wild Earth Guardians is trying to block an Eddy County oil and gas facility from operating. The group is petitioning the federal government, objecting to a state permit for emissions of potential air pollutants for the XTO energy-owned facility. The group argues that the permit does not prevent dangerous air pollution from escaping the facility about 17 miles east of Malaga. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
There's an old saying that no one's life, liberty, or property is safe while the legislature is in session. For proof, all we need to do is look to the state of Florida. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by CarShield. Be prepared for the unexpected. Visit carshield.com/Kim and save 20%. Deductible may apply. In the Florida Senate, a Republican senator named Jason Bradier has introduced a bill that would require bloggers who write about the governor, the attorney general, or members of the legislature, which would include the good senator, to register with the state government or face stiff fines. Should this moronic bill pass into law, it would be ruled unconstitutional immediately. The First Amendment is clear. No government body can stop free speech. Bradier is a University of Florida graduate. His degree is in food and resource economics, and he's working on his master's in public health. And maybe he should squeeze in a class or two about the U.S. Constitution. Hey, if you're looking for great content on the go, get my daily longer podcast. It's called Kim Commando Today. Do you want to know what's trending now? You can defer payment of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. That's right, no payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 22 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, getting visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite has everything you need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. So whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months today. Visit netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim for no payments or interest for 6 months. That's netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure developing to our east with downslope flow, and that'll keep us very mild today. Our afternoon highs in the lower 80s. Some sun and some clouds and just a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy and will drop into the mid and upper 40s. Looks like some more cloud cover coming in on Tuesday. Slightly cooler, will stay in the mid to upper 70s. Cloudy on Wednesday and about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, now in this county, we can turn our attention to the spring sports because the last gasp for basketball ended over the weekend, and they were in the form of teams that were really facing an uphill battle. Goddard in boys action on Saturday lost to Academy by a score of 82-52. Goddard finishes the season 13-16. Academy is now 24-3. Goddard, the 16th seed, Academy County, the 1 seed. Meanwhile, on Friday night, it was Dexter losing at Navajo Prep in Farmington by a score of 56-20. Dexter finishes the season 9-19, but they were the 15th seed in the state playoffs. Navajo Prep, the 2nd seed, moves on to the next round. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Wall Street rallied on Friday to end a volatile week as U.S. Treasury yields eased and economic data helped investors look past the growing likelihood that the Federal Reserve will have to keep its restrictive policy in place until late in the year. Volkswagen said it expects supply chain issues to ease and sales to rise to as much as 331 billion euros, $352 billion in 2023, sending shares in Europe's top car maker to their highest level in 3.5 months. Russia's ruptured undersea Nord Stream gas pipelines are set to be sealed up, and there are no immediate plans to repair or reactivate them. Sources familiar with the plans have reported. Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, each consisting of 2 pipes, were built by Russia to pump natural gas to Germany under the Baltic Sea. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:54. Got a few minutes here before we get to the news here at the top of the hour. Hey, the Joy Center, Roswell Joy Center, is inviting folks out this Saturday, open to anyone. They're having a fundraiser, Val's Zumba fitness class, happening this Saturday, March 11th, at the Joy Center, 1822 North Montana, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The class, cost of the class will be a donation at the door, and Valerie Solis Ramirez will be the instructor. If you have any questions, reach on out to the Joy Center, 575-914-0285, and otherwise just come on out and get ready. And it doesn't matter if you've never Zumbaed or you're a Zumbin fool. They got you covered. So, either way. But this Saturday out at the Joy Center.
Nice.
Good deal.
I had a real, intense sense memory when I walked in this room.
Yeah?
I walked in and something was just a waft from the window. Now, usually we're getting, Martines, serving at breakfast and stuff.
Yeah.
This morning, it was 2 distinct smells just when I walked in. First, distinctly celery, like celery seasoning almost, celery salt.
Okay.
And then potato. So my mind, and maybe it's because it's this time of year, maybe it's, I don't know, I was instantly taken back to my grandma's potato salad. And I've talked about this potato salad before. It's a special thing in my family. My sister knows how to make it. So at Thanksgiving, she makes it. But used to be in my family, it was an Easter staple.
Okay.
My grandma would make a big batch of her potato salad every year at Easter when we got together and had our Easter supper or whatever.
So 80-degree temps here, springs in the air. It's kind of an Easter smell.
It's reminiscent of, I got hit with celery and potatoes. I was like, I miss that, but it's fantastic. It's one of those very distinct celery forward mayonnaise potato salad.
I was going to say mayonnaise based.
Yeah, not. Although I think there is mustard in it.
Okay,
I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, my mom made an awesome potato salad too, but I think the recipe died with her. I don't think anybody else had it because my wife doesn't. I can't remember if she taught my wife or not. I don't recall, and I don't think my brother knows it. There's certain recipes that My brother knows. My wife was taught one or two. My aunt actually taught me ones that I remember as a kid, and taught Kim, didn't teach me. What am I talking? Taught Kim.
Right.
that my mom, like there's one that my wife calls memory casserole, and at the end of the day, it's just like a beef casserole with soup, cream mushroom soup, and like ground beef, and cream of chicken, and some ziti noodles, and but it's to me it's just something from a kid I loved, and so when I think of it, I think of my grandma and home, and it tastes good to me, and I like it. So she recreates it, but I don't think it's her favorite because so I have to kind of beg. But my mom hated that dish and never made it as a kid. So the only time I ever had it was at grandma's, or I think I've told this story. I lived with my grandmother to 4 years old. My mom and we all lived. Then my mom met my father, and they got married, and he adopted me, and I moved out at 4. But for the first 4 years, we lived at my grandma. So my grandma did the cooking, so that's what I grew up on.
Right.
Now my mom cooked very similar to my grandma did, but there were certain meals that she wouldn't touch, and that was one of them. So my aunt's also the same woman who got me putting ketchup in Kraft mac and cheese.
Really? See, I remember you telling me about that. I've never tried it. It's one of those things that sounds awful. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's great. It hits the ear different than it probably hits the palate.
Well, this is that part of me, like you talked about how you grew up eating pork. That's my version of we did the same thing. We eat these different meals and things, and so
certain parts of that I have no problem with.
Yeah.
But like the other day, my mom posted a can of mackerel.
Oh,
and she started talking about how her famous mackerel patties. I in the comments said never, never ever again. I will never eat a mackerel patty as long as I live. Mackerel or salmon patty as long as I live.
My mom's version was, I don't even know what kind. It was just called fish pie, and it was literally it was on a Bisquick box from the 80s, and my mom did it. And I don't remember what kind of fish, but basically it's like a pie, like you would, but a savory one with celery and the fish. And
right.
Some kind of sauce. I don't remember.
It doesn't sound bad.
In theory.
It depends on what kind of fish you use.
All I know is I grossed out, didn't like it. My brother and my father lied and said they liked it. So I ended up eating it like 4 more times before finally someone besides me spoke up.
Someone finally has to do the intervention. Mom, they were lying to you. This is terrible.
It's no toad in the
I'll
hole.
just add it to my repertoire.
Yeah, no. Go, more toad in the hole, less fish pie. That was another one of our poor people.
I like a good toad in the hole.
Yeah, that was one of our other poor people meals we used to eat a lot.
I like anything that's real rice heavy. It's funny too because over the weekend I scratched an itch for like a couple weeks long craving. A couple weeks ago, I weirdly had a craving for potato soup. Of all things,
I do like
so.
soup.
I'm all for slow cooking, doing the crock pot thing. But I'm also all about quick and dirty.
Yeah.
So, I used a kit. It was, freeze dried. I've kind of been, and maybe this is because of those MRE videos, I've been living off a lot of freeze dried stuff lately.
Living off freeze dried.
It's nice.
All right, we got to go. You listen to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND. Roswell back on the other side.
I'm Rich Thomason. Powerful storms that slammed parts of the Midwest and the South over the weekend have left a lot of electric customers in the dark and are blamed for more than a half dozen fatalities. A total of more than 180,000 utility customers without power this morning in Michigan, Kentucky, and Tennessee, according to poweroutage.us. We've heard a lot about the Republicans who are in the running for the White House. One who's not taking the plunge, former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan.
Hogan is a vocal critic of Donald Trump but has decided not to challenge him for the Republican Party nomination. In a statement, he says the GOP must move on from Trump so it can once again be a successful governing party. Hogan says there are several competent Republican leaders who have the potential to step up and lead, and he decided not to run to avoid, in his words, another multi-car pileup that could potentially help Trump recapture the nomination. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee will hear from the Treasury Department about why it's refusing to release to Congress suspicious activity reports on Biden family business activities. Those reports are generated by financial institutions. They flag especially large transactions that might contain evidence of criminal activities. More lawlessness on the border.
4 Americans have been kidnapped just across the border in Mexico. The FBI says the 4 U.S. citizens had entered Matamoros, Mexico Friday from Brownsville, Texas. They were traveling in a white minivan with North Carolina license plates when the FBI says gunmen opened fire on the vehicle. The FBI says the Americans were placed in a vehicle and taken away by armed men.
That's correspondent Donna Warder. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 54 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A railroad station master has been arrested for his alleged role in last week's deadly head-on train crash in Greece that killed at least 57 people. Greek journalist Anthi Karasabas spoke with the BBC.
Anger and frustration is building up here. You know, how many more tragedies must Greeks face before the system and before the state actually does its work? Greeks' railway system and organization is one of the most corrupt organizations and companies and enterprises which the government has. And it has yet to deliver on safety regulations and has not performed as it should be performing.
Pakistani officials say a suicide bomber on a motorcycle targeted a police vehicle in southwestern Pakistan. At least 10 police officers killed. Townhall.com. All of that rain and snow made a big difference in California, helping to ease the severe drought situation.
U.S. Drought Monitor data shows that moderate or severe drought covers about 49% of the state. Nearly 17% of the state is free of drought, or a condition described as abnormally dry. About a third of the state is still abnormally dry. Just 3 months ago, virtually all of California was in drought. The turnabout began with atmospheric rivers that pounded the state from late December through mid-January. Major areas of improvement are the central Sierra Nevada, the Central Coast, and the far North Coast. John Scott reporting.
And for much of the east, winter has been a bust. Snow totals far below average from Boston to Philadelphia, and warmer temperatures have often resulted in more spring-like days than blizzard-like conditions. The warm weather has left fans of cross-country skiing and sledding lamenting what might have been. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be a warm week. Like, we're going to be 80s and 70s all week.
It was downright hot yesterday.
Yeah.
Hot and windy.
It was. Mm-hmm. I didn't do a whole lot outside now that I think about it yesterday. We went out, ran a couple errands and things, but as far as being outside, I was barely outside, even though it was really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I like to wait till it's real nasty, then go do all my stuff outside.
It seems like that's when things tend to happen.
Yeah.
Like a week ago, we had that horrific wind, like the really, really bad wind, the 80 miles.
The first one or the second one?
The 80 mile.
Okay.
That
was
day,
the Sunday one.
Yeah, it was. That was the day I decided that we needed to go to the store or to get, groceries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it was because I just didn't want to be in my house, listening to the wind.
Right.
But
by the way, speaking of that, because it was that Sunday that the Sunday Fun Day got postponed,
Yes.
they had that remake
This
yesterday.
past day, yeah.
Also getting postponed that day was the Four Chaplain ceremony with American Legion Post 61 at First United Methodist Church. That has been rescheduled to March 19th. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Gotcha.
3 p.m. at First United Methodist Church. Again, completely free. Hear the story of the four chaplains, and it's four chaplains from different branches of the military. They were on the USS Dorchester, where it was sunk. What is considered the second worst naval disaster of World War II, and those four men paid the ultimate sacrifice, saving a lot of lives that day. So we tell that story, and we do it every year. It happened in February of, I don't remember the year off the top of my head, World War II era. And so we do this every year in February. Obviously, we're moved into March here because of the make goods and the weather and all
Lousy
that.
smirch weather.
But generally, we do it in February of each year. So
I try to give that story and treat that story with the reverence that it deserves, but you got to love the fact that it starts out like a bad bar joke.
Right.
A priest, minister, or rabbi.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much the start of any joke, Walks onto a boat.
Walks onto a boat.
Into a bar. But
says, take my life jackets, please.
Yeah, it's true, but it is an amazing story. So we'd love to invite people out. But again, mark it on your calendars. March 19th, 3 p.m. at First United Methodist Church. Same bat channel, same time, just a different date, March 19th.
Yep.
So, I do need to get the interview going. We had Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski join us from Main Street Roswell on Friday, talking a little about the UFO expo that's happening this weekend at the convention center. Talk a little bit about some of the other things going on through Main Street in the coming weeks and months here. And so we'll play that interview in just a few. They just had their shareholders meeting, kind of talked a little bit about some of the results from that. Some updates for UFO Festival in July. Not this weekend's UFO Expo, but the UFO Festival in July. Had some updates on that. Cool. I think one that will make people happy.
Oh, yeah?
They brought back something that they took away. Or I haven't.
Spoiler alert. They're bringing back the probe booth. Pay $1, get a good probing.
That never left. It just moved locations.
They just moved it, yeah. It's now in a back alley behind the Sonic, right?
Passwords, New England clam chowder.
New England clam chowder.
No. Spoiler. Basically, they're this year's UFO Festival, they're going to close off Main Street again downtown.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Between, was it 2nd and 5th, or I can't remember the street.
The downtown region.
The downtown area.
Nice.
They will be doing that again this year. They're bringing that back. That was one of the big feedbacks they got from their shareholders meeting, saying,
well, that really gives it that street fest feel.
Well, yeah. And I imagine for your Main Street merchants, now that you've basically got a steady barrage of foot traffic for 3 days there, that's a good thing for them, and that's what they want. So,
and there's a lot of really interesting niche businesses that have been opened over the last year that are more touristy in nature.
Plus, you're like a short jaunt to food anywhere you go in the entire thing.
It's nice to see that downtown Roswell has sort of been kind of given this a new nightlife feel to it almost. Sure. Because I lived through a time where every other place was like a payday loan company.
Yeah.
In downtown Roswell. It's like now it's starting to feel like a downtown.
Yeah, they want you to park and come and shop and eat and hang out and sit under the trees or go see a concert or go to do a little shopping.
We got options, people. We got options.
Strolling, window shopping, Like you're living in New York City down there, just in the Manhattan, walking around, just like that.
Just the same exact feel.
A lot cheaper, though. You hit McDonald's in Manhattan, you ain't paying $15 for a Big Mac.
That's true.
All right, it is 8:11. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure developing to our east with downslope flow, and that'll keep us very mild today. Our afternoon highs in the lower 80s. Some sun and some clouds and just a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy and will drop into the mid and upper 40s. Looks like some more cloud cover coming in on Tuesday. Slightly cooler, will stay in the mid to upper 70s. Cloudy on Wednesday and about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 55 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 29%. Winds calm at the moment. Partly cloudy today and 82 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 44. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, but still warm. Thank goodness. 78 for a high tomorrow. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 46. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs once again back near 80. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Wednesday night, cloudy, mostly cloudy, and 45 for an overnight low. Sunny on Thursday with a high of 77, mostly sunny and 72 on Friday. And the weekend, mostly sunny and 76 for Saturday. Mostly sunny, 74 on Sunday. So warm temperatures pretty much all week long here. All right, it is 8:13. We're going to take about a minute and a half commercial break, and then we'll play our interview with Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski from Main Street Roswell. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Need new windows for your home? Beware of the sales gangster. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing and Windows here. A sales gangster is a window salesperson with the mobster mentality. They intimidate, bully, and fast talk you into buying their less than quality windows during a 3-hour pitch. Think I'm kidding? Call a few window companies and see for yourself. Or you can skip the sales gangsters and call Trustmark. We have fair, no-nonsense pricing on our premium windows, and our appointments take only about 60 to 75 minutes. Just long enough to listen to what you need, show you your options, answer your questions, and give you a straightforward quote. Then it's up to you. We can take a no just as easy as a yes, but I'll guarantee you this: no sales gangsters. Sound fair? Call Trustmark Roofing and Windows for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Barbara Gomez from Main Street Roswell is going to join us in just a second here. She's grabbing something and be right back, but she'll join us here. Peggy's here. I'm not gonna put you on the spot yet. I'll wait till Barbara comes in. I won't make you all right, tell us what's going on, baby. I won't do that, but Barbara will join us here, and we'll talk Main Street Roswell. We'll talk UFO Expo and all the other things that are going to be coming up here through Main Street Roswell. But while we're doing that, I do want to remind folks that I've said it. I've been doing it all morning, and if you just tune in, I want to remind you, if you have a high school junior or senior that wants to be involved in this year's Leadership Roswell Alumni Association Teen Leadership Institute, which is taking place March 26th through the 28th at the New Mexico Military Institute campus, today is the last day to register. They are only taking applications through the end of today. Good news is you can still get an application in. It doesn't cost anything. All high school juniors and seniors are able to attend. And but you do need to get your application in. Shoot an email to Roswell Teen Leadership, all one, no spaces, at gmail.com. Roswell Teen Leadership at gmail.com. Ask for an application. They'll send it to you. Fill it out. Turn it back in before the end of the day here today. And they will get you in. It doesn't cost anything. It's completely free, and it's for all high school seniors and juniors. They're going to be giving away over $5,000 in scholarship money during this 3-day event. It's a really great thing. So please fill out your applications. Get them in today. I hate for you to miss out on that opportunity. So, all right. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and Barbara Gomez is back from go upstairs here. And then, of course, we have Peggy Seski join us as well with Main Street Roswell. Good morning, ladies. How's everybody doing today? How's life in Main Street this morning?
Busy. I'm telling you what, we are so busy. There's so much going on. Lots of great things are coming up. You know, spring, it starts to turn spring.
It does.
Things start to rev up. Lots of stuff.
Allegedly going to be 80 on Sunday, so that feels a little spring-like to me.
And today, I think it's 70s, or did you say?
Supposed to be near 70 today, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff revving up for us. Of course, with spring coming up, we will be doing spring planting really soon.
Okay.
We will have a spring fundraiser, which I'll let Peggy talk more about later. Okay. We finally took down the Christmas decorations. I thought we were going to become, those people that leave their decorations up all year long.
Those decorations, you'll never hear me complain. I love those. I can look at them all year. I like when you come down at night and seeing all the light poles and everything lit up and the white lights. It's pretty.
So we didn't take, and of course the lights went down as well, and then we finally got the Christmas decorations down. But we're, like I said, revving up about this time of the year. We're getting ready for the UFO Festival. And you're thinking, wow, you're already thinking about July. But those things come up really, really fast. And so
they were thinking about the UFO Festival last July for this July. That's the date.
Really,
as
soon as it's over, you start thinking about what you're going to do
next year. Exactly.
So we've got some really fun things planned. And if I can talk for just a minute about July the 4th weekend, Main Street has been known for the, I guess you can call it ground zero, where a lot of things happen right there on Main Street.
Sure.
So this year, what we plan to do is close down everything from 2nd Street all the way down to 5th Street.
Okay, so going back to closing down the Main Street.
Closing down the main streets. And so this time we will have vendors back on the streets again. We hope to have some entertainment. We hope to have the stilt guy there, a few things going on.
Kind of what we're used to seeing.
What you're used to seeing. So there will be food trucks flanking the courthouse lawn, the same usual things that we like to do and that we're known for.
And then, of course, all those Main Street businesses that you are normally, the street in front's going to be normally open is now closed. They can walk in. So,
they can
walk
walk
you can
around.
walk in there and do some shopping. Or I'm just telling you, usually the first weekend of July in Roswell's hotter than Hades. So if you need a little air conditioning break or something,
you might want to go shopping. Go inside and go shopping. So we're ahead of the game right now, talking about the UFO Festival. But it is March, and it is one of my favorite months of the year. I love St. Patrick's Day. I love green. I love anything St. Patrick's. So we're getting ready to hopefully be having a really special St. Patrick's Day event coming up. I'm still working on the details, so I'm not going to tell you guys yet.
But imagine partnering with some of our Main Street merchants and things.
For the 17th for St. Patrick's Day. So we'll let you guys know a little bit more about that.
Celebration and make plans to attend a festive event.
Or at least come learn a little something about what all St. Patrick's is about. So I'm working on that.
It's all about green beer and green everything.
That's right, green everything. In the meantime, you can have some green drinks over Stellar's. They're going to be serving some green drinks all month long.
Cool.
And our theme for this month, for those of you that are wondering,
Dr. Seuss.
This month is it's his birthday, but we're going to celebrate a whole month of Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
So it's not just one day. And so
I know yesterday was National Read Across America Day, and so they were doing, and I know like a lot of local schools were doing because of Dr. Seuss's birthday. I think it's all in conjunction. Read Across America. They created it to coincide with Dr. Seuss's birthday, but so we were doing all things Dr. Seuss yesterday, and this will be all month long here with Dr. Seuss stuff.
And so I love his books. I really do. I think that they're fun books for kids, and even as adults, you still remember.
Sure.
All about them. But it says here that in honor of Dr. Seuss' birthday, March is designated as National Reading Month. a month to motivate Americans of all ages to read every day. Reading is fun and has many benefits regardless of your age.
Absolutely.
So if you got little kids, pull out a Dr. Seuss book and read to them.
Library is just a couple blocks away.
That's right.
Take your family down to the library and get free books and free things, and the whole world is at your oyster for free at the library.
It is.
Go down there and they have other things besides books, but check out the books.
You know what? They are really, really helpful there.
Yeah.
You know, I go there and they, find things for you. Enid is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone there is very helpful.
Is that technically in the Main Street corridor of the or is
It
that
is.
just outside?
Actually,
I didn't know if that was still counting or is that outside?
Well, it actually is. The alley is actually where it ends.
I knew it's like right on the bubble there. I just didn't know if it was.
It's what is it, Richardson? So it just really kind of goes right behind there.
It's close enough to call it good.
Close enough. It's close enough. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, we're getting ready to do a bench dedication there at the library park coming up later this month.
Good.
For somebody that dedicated.
So when the weather's nice, it'd be a good place to sit and read a book.
Yeah. And just a little plug on our benches. If you've seen benches up and down Main Street, some of them have dedications on them.
Yeah.
And people have purchased those specific benches to dedicate their family members. Peggy, for instance, has one in honor of her husband just right in front of Bank of the Southwest.
Oh, nice.
And so we've got one up for Johnny Gonzalez, Dusty Huckabee. There's quite a number of them.
There's room for more if you want to honor someone and things. Please reach out to Main Street. Now, and the good news, I think, I don't know all the details, but they've started back up the program with the benches. They found, didn't I hear they found someone that can accept the lids and everything again?
Yeah.
So they're back to be able to do this again. So it had a little hiatus as they had a company that kind of changed and
You know
rehand.
anything about that?
But I think it's all back to business
It
now.
is back. The company, the people that owned it wanted to retire.
Yeah, okay. And so they needed someone to pick up the mantle.
After a certain time, you get old. So they wanted to retire.
Dang it.
But they didn't want to leave us in the lurch, so they were really looking hard. And
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad they were doing
They got a
glad they
buyer,
did
so
that.
it's the same place.
Good.
So nothing's changed, the same
So-
good quality.
So keep saving your soda bottle caps and your plastic lids for like the mayo jars and things. There's a whole list.
There's
you go to
a whole-
Main Street
Yes,
website,
we've
you can
got
see the
There's
list.
a whole
of everything.
list. Yeah. And the location drop-offs is the Chamber of Commerce and Southwest Print. So
Perfect.
you can drop them off there.
Yeah, I know the chamber. They got their little thing outside. So if you knock on the door, and no one's there. They got a thing right out there. You can leave it there.
They actually were getting a new one. So if there's not one out
Yeah,
there,
it
give
got a
us
little
a call.
beat
You
up.
got a little beat up. So
But it is right there in the wind on the corner, and things happen. So,
we're working to get them a new bucket out there, a new big trash can to be able to do that. But that's still going on. And something that's coming up next week, Mike, that we are not the
You're kind
organizers
of
of
adjacent to and supporting.
Yes, we are not putting this event on. However, we thought it would be a great opportunity to be able to support something that's coming to town.
Well, it impacts Main Street Roswell, even if it's not technically a Main Street Roswell event, but this is an event that ideally brings business to Main Street, brings traffic to Main Street. So that's you're here to support it and encouraging people to come out and be a part of it.
So in case somebody's out there that has not heard about it, it is not the UFO Festival. It's the UFO Expo.
This is like a bonus. So if you're a UFO into the UFOlogy, this is like a bonus. You get this basically the caliber of talent and things that are coming in that we get at the UFO Festival.
Right.
But it's all just devoted to that with the cosplay and entertainment. So there's a lot more to it. So it's like a mini UFO Festival all at the convention center. And I would even call it a pre-UFO festival.
I think
call
so
it,
too. For right now,
come out and then some of these folks will come back in July that you get to talk. Some won't, but some will be here. So please.
Yeah, if you look at their website, it's ufoxpo.com. But they say they're going to have celebrity speakers. They are going to have films, so they're going to be showing a few of those. They're going to do some cosplay. I just heard yesterday that they will have a band. Yeah. So there will be a band that starts later in the evening, like from 9 to 12 or something.
I'm guessing, because I'm looking at the poster here, and they've got Tyrone Vaughn, who's actually Stevie Ray Vaughan's nephew. So I'm guessing that's part of the music. I'm assuming
I'm not
Stevie
sure.
Ray Vaughan's nephew's a musician. Maybe he's here for Aliens. But
I don't know. Who knows?
I think he's a musician.
But you'll have a chance to come and see these guys if you want. It's a 3-day event, so it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But here's the cool part. Mike, the second guy on the pictures there that you're seeing, that Tom Reed, he is the organizer of the event. He's been in Roswell a number of times to the UFO Museum and has spoken there. And so he wanted to do something special for Main Street specifically, and for the citizens of Roswell. And so he said that he would give tickets for half price for 3 days. So I think the price, if you bought them early, the tickets were $99. If you bought them later, it's like $140 or something. It's a little bit more. But if you buy them from here and you are from Roswell, so if you have a Roswell driver's license, you can prove you're a resident of Roswell.
Sure.
You get a ticket for $49 for the whole weekend.
Excellent. And again, it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th next weekend. So it's all 3 days.
It's all 3 days.
Yeah.
Now, Main Street's going to be there. We plan to be there.
You going to have a booth or table or something?
Yeah, we're going to have a table. We're going to be selling a few T-shirts. We're going to be selling some UFO swag.
Okay.
We're also taking our alien with us for photo opportunities, so you can take a picture with our life-size alien.
Cool.
But the other big thing that we're doing is trying to promote business in Roswell.
Sure.
So we're encouraging people. So we put together, and I can give you a few of them, but we're still working on who's going to do what.
So they'll be doing some like specials and things during the 3-day event. Some of the Main Street businesses.
Yeah.
Cool.
So to encourage people to go there. So let's say, for instance, the Gallery Arts, you get one free raffle ticket with the purchase. So if you purchase anything, you get a raffle ticket, and later on you get they do a drawing for whatever their raffle is.
If you never walked in there, make Saturday or next Saturday the first time, because it's a beautiful,
It
the
really
artists
is.
and everything in there. It's a real treasure.
It really is very nice. And if you're into art, they've got artists from all over the place that come in there.
Absolutely.
Then we have CS Designs. They normally do free engraving with the purchase of a tumbler. So you can go in and see them. She's a Dandy. She's a Dandy is a really cool shop in the fact that you can go in there and you can say, you know what, I like that, that design, but I don't like that T-shirt. Can I change it
very
to this
customizable,
color? Very customized. And so they can make any design T-shirt that you want while you wait.
Yeah.
And so
not to mention they got other cool clothes and things, and I always think of the animals because of the Runyon Ranch, and they during
used to
First
always
Friday they always bring the Runyon Ranch animals and things. So they got more than that, but I always think of animals when I think of that.
and I think they seem to have on First Fridays usually they seem to have the little donuts out there in front of their
They
building.
know it brings the people in. Food always brings you in.
I don't know if they'll be there this time or not. Let's see, Moon Man. They're going to give, and this is one free tote with a purchase of 2 or more shirts on Saturday only.
Nice.
So he's giving away some really nice bags.
And of course, if you need, custom printing for your organizations or business or individual, they got you covered.
Yeah. And so, of course, then we have Stellar Coffee Company right downtown. They're going to be serving specialty Irish drinks. So we will have a really full list.
One could argue that the green drinks at Stellar would be
right or not.
just as much for the aliens as it would be for the Irish. You know what I mean?
You're right.
I'm kind of thinking,
what? Maybe
green
they
drink,
can
is it alien green or is it Irish green?
You know what? They can translate that
That
over
could be the
to-
debate.
The debate, right. They could do that. So we will get this on our Facebook as soon as I get the full list of who's doing what. We'll put it on our stakeholders page and our regular Facebook page. And we're also going to hand these out during the expo. So when people are walking around, we're going to encourage them, hey, head down Main Street. And you'll have one other reason. Peggy, I'm going to let you talk all about that in a little bit. But we're going to give them another reason to come down Main Street. We're going to have meet and greets with some of these celebrities that are coming.
So when they're not doing their panels at the convention center, there will be maybe some merchants or downtown here. You can kind of meet and talk with them. And
just walk in, go into that merchant's business and see the celebrity that's coming. So starting out on Saturday at 10 a.m. at the UFO Museum, a gentleman by the name of Frank Renda will be there. He is not on the poster.
Okay.
This is a new add-in.
A late edition?
Yeah, but he has robots, R2-D2 and that type of stuff.
Wow.
And so they will be there at the UFO Museum. They're not going to move them from there. They're going to be there most of the day because they're pretty heavy, I guess.
Sure, I would imagine those are kind of bulky.
So they're going to be there. The next one at 12 to 1 will be Mr. Tom Reed and Mr. Mike Barra will be at McDonald's.
Okay.
And McDonald's has already told me they're going to roll out the red carpet for that and do some fun things and have some drinks.
Okay.
And so if you want to go by McDonald's on Saturday from 12 to 1, and then Daryl Sims, if you've had a chance to get on his website, a lot of them have little videos. And Daryl Sims talks about being abducted from a young child, like 5 or 6 years old.
He comes to all the UFO festivals, so he's one of the more recognized panelists that come to the event every year.
And so Daryl Sims will be at Pepper's Grill from 1 to 2.
Okay.
So that's a kind of a fun place to go and
So
go
have a nice
drink,
lunch
have a
and-
lunch and listen to that. And from 2 to 3 o'clock over at Moonman Printing, Travis Walton will be there. That's another really interesting one.
Absolutely.
That's been on national TV.
Go dig on your Amazon or whatever. There's a movie that came out in the 90s called Fire in the Sky.
And actually, that's what he's going to be talking about.
Yes.
Fire in the Sky.
He and it stars D.B. Sweeney. D.B. Sweeney, the actor, plays Travis Walton in that movie.
Oh, does he really?
And it's called Fire in the Sky. It stars James Gardner.
Obviously, trying to find him
passed.
real quick here.
And I can't remember.
Yes, and Travis is going to be doing Fire in the Sky.
There's a few celebrities that are in that movie.
That.
James Gardner's probably the biggest name. He plays the sheriff. And in essence, what happens, and just to give the rough, if you want to know, he was a lumberjack up in the Arizona mountains. And they were out cutting wood, and they was a pickup truck, and it was him and some of the cutter guys.
I think I remember this.
And so they were up in the woods doing their logging stuff, and they see a crazy light and everything, and so they drive to it, and they see the UFO there in the woods, and Travis gets out of the truck and walks up, and then he gets hit with a beam and gets sucked up in the ship.
Oh, wow.
Disappears for 3 days.
Wow.
The rest freak out, go back to town, tell everybody. They're like, no. Those three were about to get arrested for murder of Travis when he showed up out of nowhere 3 days later. And then the story
And then that's
goes
where the story starts.
So to hear that story from the actual guy, that's Travis.
Yeah.
But I watched that movie years ago and got fascinated by it. And it was a big deal movie. It was, for its time, it was a blockbuster-ish for that time.
And so the really cool thing, they are going to be at Moonman Printing from 2 to 3. So these are all free, meet and greets. So you can come and see them, listen to them.
And the other cool thing, real quick, at the end of that was I watched. He's got a documentary about the event, and here's the thing: it gets me. You go back to the exact spot today, and things are different. Like the trees in that area are a little shorter than the rest of the ones. Like whatever impression that ship left. I don't know if it's nuclear or whatever. You can tell that the trees, that area, it's different than the rest of the woods around it. So something happened there. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, I'm sure something did. Really kind of funny. This is kind of a little side thing. I was just looking through my Facebook, and you know how sometimes they post little videos on there.
Yeah.
And somebody had posted a video from their Ring cam. Like the
Ring doorbell cams. Yeah.
And I kid you not, that alien looks like the one that sits in our office right now, Peggy.
I think those are people having fun, but
no, he looked really real. He was just standing there looking around.
Yeah.
And it was just a really short snippet. But I guess maybe we're not the only ones here.
There's a whole lot of stuff. I don't know.
The
problem is there's a lot of people that like to make those things, so it kind of dilutes the water a little bit. But the Travis Walton story is an amazing one. If you're not familiar with it, that one is one of those to me that says, I don't know either, but that man clearly, and after talking with him, he just looks like a guy. He's a real nice guy, real jokey and everything, but he's got that look about him like he's seen something, like something happened. You know what I mean? Like something's there happened to that guy.
So some of them are even, I understand, going to bring some artifacts and items with them that, that they say are kind of like alien type items. So.
Sure. Well, even the stuff from here in Roswell, they they found metals and things up there that they can't
identify.
It doesn't work on any of our elemental charts or anything.
Right.
So, yeah.
So then from 3 to 4 at the Gallery Arts, Ben Hansen will be there. And from 4 to 5, Mark D'Antonio will be at Moonrock Outfitters.
Cool.
So I will be placing this schedule also on our Facebook. And so if you're interested in going, just look on our Facebook or call these locations. Again, there'll be UFO Museum, McDonald's, Pepper's Grill, Moonman Printing, the Gallery Arts, and Moonrock Outfitters.
Absolutely. Now, to get tickets for UFO Expo, like you mentioned, the discount.
Yeah, I'm glad you
do they go
mentioned
to UFOexpo.com to get that, or do they need to go to a local merchant to get that?
I've got tickets in my office right now.
And I think the Chamber has some,
The Chamber has some
Yeah.
also, and I'm trying to think somebody else is having some, but I don't remember who right now. But give us a call. Call the Chamber. Call Main Street Roswell. We have tickets there for $49 so that you can go to this event.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to have the Galacticon will be there as well. So
are they doing the cosplay and all that?
They're doing cosplay. Okay, cool. They're doing costumes. They're doing all kinds of stuff.
So all you cosplayers and gamers and those types, love to come on out and enjoy the expo as well.
You know what? They're going to be doing some movies outside, and I will have. I was in charge of food trucks, so our Main Street is. And so we will have some food trucks out there, so you can go out there to get Beli's Bistro or maybe some tacos pita or something,
Our
and
food
go
trucks,
out.
They bring their A game.
Yeah, they really do.
They bringing in some new trucks too, and there's new food. Love it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm working on another gentleman that wants to come from Albuquerque, and he has a really big truck that looks like one of the carnival trucks. You know those really big carnival trucks that have the whole thing, and so they're going to be blocking off an area so that you can walk around there and grab you some food. You can take it back in, go to the concert, walk around, buy a little bit of swag, take pictures with Main Street,
meet some of the guests, panelists.
So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You'll see the sign. It'll be going up today. It'll be on the courthouse lawn, just to remind you guys not to miss that on this event.
Yep. If you want to go to UFOexpo.com, you can kind of see all the panel speakers, see all the schedule of events and what's going to take place where there. You can order tickets there, but if you want the $50 Roswell special, talk to Barbara at Main Street, go by the Chamber, and reach out that way. Because I don't know, but I think they may just be offering the $99 or the whatever it's up to ticket online.
They may. I don't know what they're doing there. All I know is they gave me this special for Roswell residents.
And you've got them, so we can guarantee these are $50. Come get those.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk to you about something fun that happened recently. You want to tell them about our...
Well, you'll have to chime in.
I will have to be happy to.
Okay, we had a meeting with all of our business owners. They were all invited to a stakeholders meeting because they do have a stake in Main Street.
It's their Main Street. They want to take ownership in how to make it the best Main Street possible.
It is their Main Street, and that's what we wanted them to say, what they want to see on Main Street. We have a lot of long-range plans that take time.
Sure.
So,
and I imagine as board members and as part of the Main Street, you want that input because you want to know what direction. At the end of the day, the board is kind of at the direction of what the merchants of Main Street. So what they want is what you guys strive to do.
Yep, that's right.
So it's not what we want,
right?
But we want what's good for Main Street.
Now that being said, the board is made up of a lot of Main Street owners and things that have a stake in the game, and so
and that's why we call them stakeholders because they do have a stake. They
absolutely
have a stake in the game.
And a note on that: Peggy is a board member. She's a secretary for Main Street Roswell.
Yes, I've been on the board
she's an officer.
for many years.
Do you have a good penmanship? That's usually one of the reasons why they make someone secretary.
No, it's just because nobody else wanted
right, you were the short straw.
Isn't that how it generally works?
That's the other reason.
It was my turn.
Oh, gotcha.
But I have been on the board for several years.
Good deal.
Since 2007, actually.
So, you've seen a lot of evolution of Main Street over the years. Yeah, absolutely.
But our stakeholders were asked a couple of things to do during this meeting, and one of them was to vote on the different events. We have events that we put on during the year.
Sure.
Whether they're beneficial to the downtown area, we wanted to know that, and we also wanted to know if they wanted it.
Sure. Well, and there's even been like the movie, like sometimes the event went to the depending on the event, went to the fairgrounds for a year, and it came back.
During the pandemic.
So you're kind of learning and say, hey. Did you guys see a bump there? Did you all, what was it beneficial to have it here? Was it not? That's the feedback you guys are looking for.
Yes.
Or we also wanted to know what their favorite ones were. And so we gave them, we did what we did called as the dot survey.
Okay.
We gave them all a little sticky dot.
Okay.
And we had a board set up where they had to go and vote.
Kind of pick their favorites.
They could only pick 2 of the favorites out of 4.
Okay.
The UFO Festival, the Chili Cheese Festival, our holiday event at Christmas time.
Okay.
In December, the farmers market. It's
Okay.
really not an event, but we do it for 13 weeks in the summer, so it's
Sure.
a pretty good size event.
Well, I don't know what the Main Street folks said, but I can tell you from a citizen folk, we love that farmers market. So
Well,
I hope they like it too.
I appreciate
Cross the
hearing
fingers.
that.
It doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing them. We just
Sure.
want to know what
benefits them.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
benefits them the most, or
Yeah.
what they like the most.
Sure.
And
so-
what they might participate in.
Sure.
Right.
What they're more likely
They're,
to get
you
involved
know,
with. Yeah.
That's another thing that we will talk
And so the
about.
top two were, Peggy?
The UFO Festival
Mm-hmm.
and the farmers market.
Oh, good.
Those voted the most favorite ones for
Awesome.
Main
And the
Street.
others were not far behind.
I'm about
they
to say,
weren't. No, they
I
weren't.
like what they're thinking. I think I probably would have slightly led that way myself had
Yeah,
I. I
yeah.
think that's where I would have gone.
The Chili Cheese Festival is an agricultural festival.
Sure. Which I love. It's a great festival.
And we're going to do a little bit more
Mhm.
with that this year.
Mhm. A lot more, actually.
Last year was kind of a funky year for that.
Sure.
It was.
Well, it's been they've tried to get new ideas and they're trying to kind of groom it into something big. And so they're trying to find the right chemistry
you
of
just have to trial
events
and
and
error.
things to make it, you know,
That's-
what they envision it to be.
Well, and we also want to make it what it was at one time. So we are working to see if we can't get the Leprino tours back
Sure.
up.
That was always a big part of it.
Yeah,
and we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
you know.
because of the
well,
pandemic.
and if for anyone that knows how things operate, Leprino, it's a very secure, very hygienic facility,
Very.
and things like COVID, they don't mess around with that
No,
kind of stuff.
no.
And even before we even heard of the word COVID, you were gloved up, bootied up, and all kinds of
Yeah,
masked
they-
up
they look
before you
like
walked
that all
into
the
that
time.
place. So,
Yes.
they're
look like,
very stringent on that
like
kind of thing. So-
Charlie's, what is it, Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
You know how they were all
Willy
suited
Wonka.
up, you know?
But,
that's
you
kind
know,
of what it
which
looks
they
like.
love doing the tours and things, but ideally they don't want a bunch of people potentially contaminating
Oh,
their
and then
stuff.
that fresh cheese at
Yeah,
the end with the
exactly.
pizza. Yes.
So I
definitely.
understand how they're very protected, but we love
But
to.
we do contests, and it's going to be agricultural type because we're a pecan area too.
Sure. We're nuts.
We're not. We got the best of everything, don't you think?
That's
We've
right.
got cheese, we've got chili, we've got
chili,
pecans.
cheese, nuts, and,
I mean,
and aliens. What else
that's
do you
what else-
need?
what else do you
That's
need?
right. So
and
we're
we're gonna work on
incorporating that.
We're going to work on the cow again this year, the milking cow, so milking demonstrations.
Good deal.
I've got some other fun demonstrations that I'm working on. I need to double myself is what I need to do right
We
now.
need to
I've
clone
so
her.
much. I need
Definitely.
another person.
Get that movie Multiplicity. See if we can take
Yeah.
some notes and make a couple. There was like 4 Michael Keatons in that movie. So
Oh
maybe-
man, that would be fun. That would be great. I could send myself somewhere to go do.
There you go.
I don't know if we can handle that. I don't think we can handle that one.
Let's think about that one.
So the other question we asked, which we thought was really kind of cool, what's good about Main Street? Because sometimes we forget, because we're here.
Can't see the forest from the trees.
Yeah,
kind
you
of
can't
thing.
see
Yeah.
it, and you go to other places, and because I went up and down our corridor, which is going up to Lovington and Hobbs and Artesia, Ruidoso, and they have great main streets, but our Main Street really does rock. And so we asked our stakeholders, what do they like about us? And then
They think we have where the camaraderie is good among
That's
the
important.
businesses
That's
and among the
important.
people.
so they watch out for each
So
other.
they do watch out. We
That's
have a website set
And
up
that's the
just
great
for
thing
the vendors.
about Main Street and down that it's an all in together mindset
Mm-hmm.
and that's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
they're
So-
friends, they're family.
Yeah, they look out for each other.
I mean, they just posted just.
They're actually neighbors.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
they
neighbors.
literally
Yeah,
are
they
neighbors,
are
and they
neighbors.
treat each other neighborly, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just recently they posted something about a gentleman that they felt was being a little shady. They weren't sure, and they felt a little, concerned about him. So they posted it on Facebook, so everybody was aware. Look out for this guy. This is what he looks like. This is what he's wearing.
That's great.
So watch out.
That's the beauty of a community like this. Is everyone?
We are a small community,
Yeah,
and we
is-
need to look out for each other, and we need to make them aware of something that might be happening in town.
This is again why we have this most unique city that is Roswell. We have amenities of a larger city like Albuquerque, but at the end of the day, we're a 50,000 small town community, and so we've got the amenities of a big city with the mindset of Mayberry, and
That's right.
And
that's
we're known.
That's not a bad thing.
And
I'm
we're
just saying.
known nationally and internationally as a place to go.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
we're the most unique equation out there when it comes to business and
They say we have a walkable streetscape. That was
So
one
it's
of
a
the
nice
things.
place to
So
walk
It's
up
a
and
nice
down.
place to walk, and we're trying to. That's what we're working on.
That's always been
now.
a goal.
Yeah.
I think.
I happen to be on the design committee for the downtown.
Yeah, and that's be for you,
We,
with the
we need to
planting
do
and-
more outside stuff to bring people, outside.
Sure.
And bring them downtown just to sit and have coffee.
Sure.
Or, just to walk.
Yeah, go.
It's
go,
safe. It's safe to walk.
Sure, or
Also.
go sit on the courthouse lawn at lunchtime and have your lunch. Go
sit
pick
on
up
some of our benches
pick
that
up
we
some
have put
coffee or
around.
something from around, and then sit out in the park there, or sit in Pioneer Plaza and hang out and have lunch.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So they, we have a new director. That was one thing that they commented, and that is very enthusiastic.
Well, good.
So Barbara is
I need to eat my
not ready to
Wheaties.
get rid of you yet, huh?
I need to eat more Wheaties. Is what I need. Sometimes.
She is our official streetwalker.
Good deal.
And I do.
I feel like you need a name tag.
I guess I better.
Official streetwalker.
So Main Street streetwalker. Yeah, I've had a few people say. Well, I've had a few people say after one of our board meetings. We get out sometimes after it's a little bit dark, and I've had people say, Barbara, I saw you standing on the street talking to somebody. What were you doing after dark?
Working.
On the corner, working.
I
the corner, working.
Yeah, that's her corner.
Yeah.
Okay. The Christmas lights definitely were a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the white lights and the trees, I just love
It
those
sets
downtown.
the tone, and
Yeah,
that's why I
it
said.
sets the tone. They
I know
those.
they finally come down in February, but I'd be if someone said, you know what, leave them up if we could afford it, because I know it's expensive.
It's not so much the afford.
Yeah.
It's the we have to get approval
Sure.
to leave it up because the trees grow during the spring
That
and
makes
summer.
sense, and so
we
next
don't
thing you
wanna
know,
kill
the
them.
lights are buried into the
They're
bark
buried
and everything.
into them,
we
and
don't want
they're
that.
we'll kill them down. So
But it's pretty.
we're working on a way to have some flexibility.
Okay.
To do that.
Yeah.
Can we stunt the growth so the trees will just stay at the size they are right now?
You know what? That might be a movie we could look at. And see what we can do with that one. The trees and the green plants.
They really like those.
They really like that, and that reminds me that we are having a community planting day, which will be April the 22nd.
Okay, so a little over a month away here. About a
So
month
you'll be
and a
seeing
half.
flowers popping up really quick.
Yeah. And sign up because it's cool. They go through town and with the planters and all the things downtown and get them ready for spring.
And
that's what
the
they do.
city's working really hard to get water in them. Water to each of the planters.
And the businesses themselves take
and the
ownership
trees.
of them and really, if they got
do
one in
take
front of their
ownership.
business, they
They
take
watch
care
it.
of them and
Yeah.
keep them
Sometimes they
healthy
need
and all
pruned a
that.
little bit.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
water.
So again, back to that neighborly thing. It's kind of
Yes.
we have the volunteers that come through and kind of get them ready, but then it's the merchants and them that kind of keep it maintained throughout the season there and kind of
We will have the potting soil and everything for the planting day, the plants.
We get our
Roswell Seed.
get
who
them
is in
Oh, the great
one of our
downtown merchants.
stakeholders.
A
Yes,
downtown
that's-
merchant.
they've been there a few years too. You're talking about things that have been around a while.
So yes, they're got them in their greenhouses right now.
Good deal.
Growing for us.
Yeah.
So, but any group that would like to come out and bring a pile of volunteers, that's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Bring out your Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts,
Yeah, your
youth
garden
group,
clubs out there. Love to have y'all come
your
out.
civic organizations. You need something
Absolutely.
civic to do, some community work. We
Maybe
would
you're-
absolutely love to
Or if
have
you're
you
just
come
a
out.
family that wants to expose your
That's
kids to
right.
some,
Just come out.
to serving the community type events. It's a great way
Yeah.
to get your kids involved in that.
And just so you know, first of all, shout out to Jim Burris and the City of Roswell Parks. They are working on getting that water fixed. And so some of the pots might move. You may have a pot in front of you. It might have to be changed based on the availability of the water.
Gotcha. Good.
And
you can
so
only go where the
it's-
water goes.
Yeah. You can't. So that because I know for a few years, there wasn't that water, and businesses were going out there and watering their plants, which we appreciated that. But it'll be much better if the trees and the flowers can be watered.
Sure.
By the
on
city
a system
on a
or,
system or something like
that. It's
Yeah.
set it and forget it type thing.
So
Yeah.
there was a lot, and I don't really want to go through all the suggestions.
Although if those merchants love watering it, because I imagine someone like doing it because they love gardening. It's
Just like going outside.
Well, you can go outside for
Yeah.
a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You get like tired of dealing with customers for a minute. Let me go out and water some plants and get some fresh air. And I get it.
I think maybe I would like to, and I didn't tell you this, Peggy. So surprise, surprise. I would like to have something tied up with the spring planting, as calling it a spring cleanup day for Main Street. So
Okay.
basically, everybody go outside of your business. I know some businesses already do that, but sweep off your area, clean up around you. If you would like,
Wash
we can
your
help you.
windows.
We could help you
Yeah.
out with getting your windows washed. We could get a really good price so that you can do spring cleaning and get your business looking ready
Curb
for
appeal.
the events that are coming up.
Absolutely.
But we can tie that into
Yeah,
our
if there's
spring
one of
fun.
the youth groups at
Absolutely.
the high schools that would like to come out and wash windows, we'll furnish the stuff to do it. And
Good deal.
Yeah, so
please reach out.
Please reach out.
Yeah.
So we had all kinds of suggestions, Mike, that they came up with, and so we are working on some of them. The big one that everybody said they wanted was to bring back the UFO festival back downtown and put it on the street like it was before.
So when you said, when we talked about at the very beginning of this conversation, this is a direct result
This
of
is a
that
direct
feedback from the
result
merchants and
of
things.
them saying we want it back on Main Street. So we will be having a parade also during the UFO festival. So we have to kind of work all of that stuff in.
Okay.
They also want us to bring back Food Truck Fridays.
Oh,
and
good.
so I'm working on that to make sure that we already,
Good
have
deal.
all the what do you want to call it, permits and everything we need.
Yeah, working with
ready
the
for
city
that.
on, and obviously with the UFO festival, that's a lot of working side by side with the city, especially when you talk about closing roads and things.
And the
That's-
DOT, of course.
Yeah,
that's
because now,
that's a big
especially
deal.
Main Street, because we got to get the state involved for that one.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, that stretch of road is not run by the city or the county; it's the state.
Yep. So anyway, but that's about all I want to talk about today about that. But it was a really cool meeting. It had a lot going on, and we had a good number of merchants and stakeholders show up. And you probably saw it in the paper yesterday. They put in a really great article. So thank you, Lisa, with the Roswell Daily Record for helping us out.
And
with
of course, if you're a Main Street merchant and maybe you didn't get a chance to attend the meeting and everything, but please reach out if you have questions.
I've got a
things.
PowerPoint. I've got information. You want to know what happened. I think that the more we get to know each other and just meeting with a few that were there, they were so excited to be there and to give us input and say, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So we've got some fun things coming up. So
It's one of those things where we get, if everyone's working hand, we all got our business and everything, but everyone can work hand in hand because at the same time, you're trying to bring all the same people in front to see what you got, whether it's to show them your clothing or to show them your collectibles or show them your antiques
Right.
or,
I mean, we've
or show them
got-
your lunch.
some of our
whatever
new
you're
people.
trying to do, we're all trying to get you to come do that.
Well, and this all doesn't happen just overnight and without having a fundraiser.
Absolutely.
So
that's right. Better talk about your fundraiser.
Yes, real quick.
So we do have a spring fundraiser on
Okay.
April the 8th. So
Okay.
it's going to be out at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
And we will serve dinner.
Okay.
So they can call me or Barbara, send us a note.
Reach out to Main Street Roswell.
Tickets
Reach
are
out
on
to-
sale already.
Okay.
So if you want a
On sale
ticket for
already.
that.
So it's a
It's
dinner.
It's a fundraiser.
Fundraiser
a
dinner.
candy bar game.
Okay.
So most
Good
people
deal.
know what that is.
Good
and
deal.
we'll give them details.
April 8th, and it's going to be out at the
Fairgrounds in the
Okay.
new building.
Okay.
In the new building.
In the new
And
building.
It has a name now, doesn't it?
I heard
It's-
that it did the
It did.
Harold Hobson building.
yeah, I think it's the Hobson Building.
Larry Hobson?
Yes, it's
Hobson building.
Hobson Building. Yes.
Hobson building.
Yeah,
The
I
whole
think it's
Hobson families work so
Yeah,
hard
I
on
think
that
it's called the
building.
Hobson Building, and maybe
Hobson
maybe
building.
the Larry Hobson Building, but
I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't
it's
know
just
either.
the Hobson
but
building.
it might be just the Hobson. But it is the new building has a name now. That was the point.
Instead of just new building, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows the new building.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we do have to have a fundraiser once a year at least to help pay for some of this stuff. that we
Absolutely,
get.
yeah. And
so
so please reach out. And if you have any questions, go to mainstreetroswell.org. It's got a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. Don't forget Main Street Roswell on Facebook. Like and follow it. Shoot messages if you have questions in there. If you're a merchant, if you're an individual wanting to know, something, or maybe if you're interested in moving into the Main Street corridor,
Oh,
reach
for
out to Main
sure.
Street
Definitely.
Roswell.
For
They can
sure.
help you navigate through that process as well too.
Right.
So
Because we had a few people move out, so we definitely need some people to move in. And just on a quick note, if you want to be a vendor for the UFO Festival, we're already
Now.
accepting applications.
yeah, we're already in March. This thing's in
July.
June, end of June, 1st of July here. So it's
so it's
just
coming up really, really quick. so.
Exactly. So
Anyway, but thank you, Mike. We
thank you,
appreciate
ladies.
your help.
We'll see you
Thank
here
for
next
letting us
time.
come.
And if we need anything additional to our monthly visit,
Yeah.
please let me know. I know we got a lot of stuff going on, so we probably need to
So we'll talk
get
again
you a little sooner.
during April's first Friday. We'll talk about the spring things coming up. Okay.
Perfect.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All right.
Thanks, you guys.
Mike.
Thanks, guys. All right, 9:58. Let's get you into a quick break before we get kicked off the radio. Don't go away. We'll be back.
your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Determined to get to the bottom of the COVID-19 mystery, exactly where did it come from? A Republican-led House panel will hold its first hearing this coming Wednesday. This follows FBI Director Christopher Wray's admission that COVID most likely got its start in a Chinese lab. A public safety training center under construction in Atlanta firebombed over the weekend. Molotov cocktails, fireworks, and bricks flew. Heavy equipment was torched. Several dozen people were arrested. And not far from Atlanta, a large weekend house party turned deadly.
Authorities in Douglasville, Georgia, west of Atlanta, say 2 people under 18 were killed and 6 others wounded at a Sweet 16 house party where over 100 teenagers had gathered. A confrontation occurred and shots rang out sometime after 10:30 p.m. Saturday night. Ariel Gardner, who lives next door, told WSB Channel 2 Action News that she and her family suddenly heard gunshots and ducked for cover in their own home. Captain Trent Wilson with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office says investigators are still piecing together what happened, and they're putting out a call for potential witnesses to provide more information about how the shooting started and who was responsible. I'm Jennifer King.
Concert goers in Rochester, New York thought they heard gunshots at last night's rap music event. That triggered a rush for the exits. 1 person died in the stampede, 8 others injured. Police say there is no evidence of shots having been fired. No rest yet for winter weather-weary Californians.
We're going to stay in our cold and showery weather pattern here through the next 2 to 3 days through midweek. We're expecting several more feet of snow in the mountains and just some rain and maybe some afternoon thunderstorms in the lower elevations down in the Central Valley.
David Rowe at the National Weather Service. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 105 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
South Korea and Japan hoping to revive a more robust trade relationship.
Senior official at South Korea's Trade Ministry, Kang Gam-shan, says the 2 governments have agreed to start bilateral talks to return the bilateral trade to the state before July 2019, when the export restrictions were imposed. South Korea's government has decided to suspend the WTO dispute resolution process during that consultation. Ties between Seoul and Tokyo have long been complicated by grievances related to Japan's brutal rule of the Korean Peninsula from 1910 to 1945, when hundreds of thousands of Koreans were mobilized as forced laborers for Japanese companies. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The fate of Bakhmut appears to be hanging in the balance as Russian forces continue to encroach on the devastated eastern Ukrainian city. News and analysis, townhall.com. Kansas may buck a national trend.
State legislators are considering a proposal that many disability rights advocates say could help employers who pay disabled workers less than the minimum wage. A Kansas House bill would expand a state income tax credit for goods and services purchased from vendors employing disabled workers, so the vendors could have some workers who don't get the minimum wage. Employers nationally have been moving toward paying at least the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. More than a dozen states have banned below minimum wage jobs for disabled workers, and a bipartisan proposal to do so is before Congress. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
A flight to Florida from Cuba forced to turn back yesterday after it struck birds. It caused an engine to catch fire and filled the cabin with smoke. WSVN-TV reports a Southwest Airlines flight hit the birds while the plane was gaining altitude. No injuries reported. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace and Murals.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
He had 2 stations at once.
I know, he's a man. He needs the multiplicity.
I'm all over the dial.
Yep, he needs a second Michael Keaton.
That's right.
To walk around with him. To bring him
a monkey.
Keep his pizza in his wallet. Happy Monday. Hope all of you are having a delightful day so far. The week. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Got actually this week's gonna be quieter for me than last week. Last week was a busy week. I had a lot of meetings.
It was meeting heavy.
I think this week's a little bit calm. I do got to get. I got to get my teeth looked at Thursday. Other than that, I think pretty routine week.
This is going to be one of those building weeks.
Yes.
Doing a lot of moving stuff around, a lot of shifting things.
Yeah. Of course, busy week for playoffs. I mean, Artesia High, Roswell and Goddard. Goddard boys fell in the playoffs on Saturday, but Artesia boys and girls move on this week. We'll have those games Tuesday, Wednesday, and anything beyond that on our sister station, 990 AM KSVP. So I think 8 a.m. tomorrow, the girls basketball team plays, and then the boys will play on Wednesday. And I think if they win, the girls won't play again until Wednesday, and then the boys on Thursday. Okay. So, and then I think they're done if they lose. So, I did watch the Chris Rock thing. I watched all of it. I watched the pre-concert at 7:30.
So what was the pre-thing? Was it just like a question and a Q&A thing?
Well, it's what they did was the actual show that Chris Rock did was live in Baltimore.
Okay.
He did it at some theater in Baltimore. They did a pre-show in L.A., and they had some comedian that I think is open for him, an Asian guy that was kind of the host of the pre-show. I don't know who he is. He was funny, but I don't know who he is.
Right.
And then they had guests like J.B. Smooth and Dana Carvey and
Which, by the way, Smooth, I've been getting that wrong my whole life.
Yeah, is
Smooth with a V.
Oh, it's not Smooth?
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying my whole life.
I didn't know it was Smooth.
It's Smooth.
He's funny though. He was on point at the live. Arsenio Hall, a couple other people. Nice. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was hanging out.
Okay.
But anyway, they did a little bit, and then I guess they would cut back. I guess Jeff Ross opened for Chris in Baltimore, so they showed just a brief bit of his set in Baltimore, and then it was just basically leaning up to the thing, kind of it's a live event, and they were making jokes like, I don't know why we're doing a live show here when everyone's there, and we spent $2 million for something no one's going to watch, that kind of thing. And so that was sticky, funny stuff. And then Chris had his special at 8 o'clock, and that went to a little after 9. And then afterwards, they had a discussion session.
Really?
And it was a panel discussion. And here's the part and they joke about it in the thing. It's a panel of David Spade and Dana Carvey are like the hosts of said panel.
Okay.
Sitting in the middle. And then you had Arsenio Hall on one side and a lady that I cannot remember her name, a comedian. And then you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and J.B. Smoove, apparently.
Right.
And it was funny. They're just basically making their comments. I love when Chris said this. That was basically a session of that. But there is a part where they're having conversations about racial things and all that. And you've got the two whitest dudes in comedy like narrating that thing. Right. And they said, like, I don't know why they put Dana, the two whitest people on the planet, to host this conversation. Right. And you can hear David like, I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one. I mean, and they finally got Dana Carvey to do an Obama impression, which was pretty funny. And but yeah, that was, and I'm not sure if you watch it now, do they give you that stuff or just the 1 hour special?
I have to go check it out.
But that's why I watched it live, because I wanted to see whatever train wreck they were going to do before and after, and it was a bit butt awkward. But
that's the thing is when you have like comedy is weird.
Yeah.
Comedy is it's a tightrope walk between being too raunchy, but also too like scripted, and this isn't this isn't funny. Like if it hits perfect.
Yeah.
Stand up usually is right down that center, but it's runs the risk of getting the speed wobbles and going one way or the other.
As a person that appreciated the comics and things, I love their lines and things. And then of course the Chris Rock. Chris Rock was Chris Rock. If you've watched any Chris Rock special ever, he's Chris Rock.
I heard his final joke.
Did you? And he didn't talk about Will Smith or Jada Pinkett until like the last 10 minutes of the set.
And I heard his final joke just because it was on my my show prep this morning. It was pretty funny.
He dropped the mic on that one.
He did drop the mic on it.
Yes, that's where he dropped the mic and left.
I was asked why I didn't hit him back. He said, because I have parents. He said, I have a mom and a dad who taught me things. Yeah. And what they taught me is never fight in front of white people.
And then drops the mic and leaves. And here's kind of to be honest, I'm not sure Will and Jada were his like I don't think he eviscerated them, but I think he just as easily eviscerated a few other people. Like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, he went all. He called that all out. He did what he does. He called everybody out. He offended everybody.
Right.
I don't care who you were. He had a comment about you, and that's what I loved about it. So, angry white guy, he's going to offend you. Lazy whatever, he's going to offend you. The fact that you, just life in general. And the special is called, now it just went right out of my head now that I need it. It's called, what is it? Occasional outrage or selective outrage. Selective outrage.
Okay.
Selective outrage. That's what the title's called. And that's basically what he's accusing Will Smith of, is selective outrage. And then many other people amongst that. And what I'm finding, the aftermath of his comedy special, just kind of reading the Twitter world and all that, I'm finding that adult people that have jobs and work and aren't in their 20s relying on parents and things, are upset about the special or are happy about the special. They love it. They're spot on Chris Rock in all walks of life, black, white, women, men, gay, straight. They're all. But I noticed people that look like they're younger profiles or people that are young, they were butthurt by it because they don't, they eviscerate people darkly. And then they get on their high mighty horse like, what do you mean that's so mad? Then behind your back they'll cut you down.
Right.
Chris Rock did it in public, and I think that's what made him mad, because he spoke a lot of truth to people that they didn't want to hear, and that's where I respect that performance. You can agree or disagree with half of what or all of what he said, but I don't, by the way. But that's what I liked about it,
right?
And he's gonna, and he did it in a way that Chris Rock can do it, because Chris Rock, I forget how much of a performer he is as a comedian. Like you talk to Chris in an interview, or you talk to him when he's not on stage doing a routine,
right?
Pretty laid back, talking normal. But when he gets on stage, it's like that. One of the comedians made a joke. He's a cross between a preacher and a hip. I can't remember what he said, but
he slips into a very certain like persona. Or
character. And it's and you.
Whereas like a Chappelle, there's really no difference between how he is in the streets and how he is on stage. Chris Rock is very much that. When
he's
I'm
got
on
an
stage,
act.
I'm on.
Yeah, like Chappelle, it almost seems like that's his life. Whereas, not saying that Chris Rock's not wrong or doesn't disagree with what he said, but he's got it presented to you down to when his inflections were going to go this way to where and I think you get a real behind the scenes of that because it's completely live, that special, unedited. They just aired it on Netflix Live. There is a part towards the end where he messed up a joke, and he says, like in the middle, he goes, "Oh, I bleeped that joke up," and then but if you weren't listening to him talk, you probably wouldn't even caught that he messed it up.
It all has to do with inflection, and that there really is something to that. Like I was watching a John Mulaney stand-up special recently. It's one of his first ones, new in town, and there's a joke that he delivers in this special that if it's not delivered in his exact the way of delivering a joke, it doesn't work.
Right.
And he said, it was when I had that thought that only myself and Steve Urkel can have. Did I do that? And that's the way he delivered the joke. He could have delivered, did I do that? But he delivered it, did I do that? And the way he delivered it just made it so much better.
Sure. And I think Chris Rock's comedy is very much the same way, because if you just take what he says and read it as a transcript, you probably, you'd laugh, but I don't think it would hit you as hard.
Right.
But the way he, pauses for effect, inflects on a certain
There's a reason that you remember exactly the inflection. Jelly or syrup?
Exactly.
I prefer syrup.
That cadence of his and what he does is legendary. That's what I think separates your Chris Rocks from just some guy at a Chuckle Hut starting out. You know what I mean? And it's kind of and from what when you talk to the other comedians and everything, they kind of talk up Chris and how Chris has always been the one looking out for other comedians and trying to give them Leslie Jones was kind of talking about, she used to bug the heck out of Chris. Hey, put me up. And he looked at me one day and said, "You're not ready." So what do you mean I'm not ready? I've been doing stand-up comedy for 15 years. And he's like, "You're not ready." And then finally, one day, Chris Rock calls me up and says, "Hey, Laura Michaels wants to take a look at you and get you on SNL." And he's like, "What? I'm not a sketch comic, man." Chris Rock said, "Just go. Just shut up, do your act, and go."
Shut up and go.
And, well, now we know what happened to Leslie Jones. But she was kind of saying Chris Rock's that guy. Just, he looks out for the people he sees them and does. And there was a couple matter of fact, that comedian that was kind of the host of the pre-show, he was another one. I don't know his name, but he's, he kind of was talking about Chris Rock's kind of giving me my breaks and things and stuff like that. So it's, there was a lot of that going on in the pregame and postgame, just talking about, Chris Rock, the dude off stand-up, And
yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out for sure.
It's very good. I liked it. No kids. This is adult-themed, the content of his is not meant for children. Please parents, don't come up and say, "Well, I put them on and it was," yes, it's not meant for kids. These are things that you say, kids, you don't watch these till you're 18. Right. This is one of those, but it's really good. So anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour. I got to get the interview going here.
Trying to find the host of the
I don't remember
Go ahead.
the guy's name.
I'll track it down.
I really apologize about that. He's not like what you call a household name.
I'm curious if it's like Bowen Yang or
maybe I don't know his name. I couldn't even take a guess. Or if you said it, I'd be like, "That's it." I just didn't catch it, so I have no. And he's not
Ronnie Chung.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't ring a bell to me either. So I was like, I'm not sure who that guy is. So anyway, give me the run. But he was funny. He had some good jokes and everything. I would watch his stand-up. I just had never heard of him. But anyway, here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather. And then I'm going to play an interview I had last week. The new CEO of Loveless Regional Hospital, Nick Sharilla, joined us in studio. We had a nice little conversation with him. So I thought I'd play that for folks here in the 9 o'clock hour this morning. He was here like on a Monday at 7:15. So some folks that are listening this time of day are like, I don't know what 7 a.m. is.
Yep.
I'm staring at the back of my eyelids at 7 a.m. So
I haven't seen 7:30 in 27 years.
Yeah, my wife, she was mad too. Both days. Woke up at 6 o'clock this morning this weekend. I was like, "What are you doing up?" "I can't sleep." All right, it is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure developing to our east with downslope flow, and that'll keep us very mild today. Our afternoon highs in the lower 80s. Some sun and some clouds and just a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy and we'll drop into the mid and upper 40s. Looks like some more cloud cover coming in on Tuesday. Slightly cooler. We'll stay in the mid to upper 70s. Cloudy on Wednesday and about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 32%. Winds still calm at the moment. We are expecting partly cloudy skies today. Warm pretty much all week, though. 82 for today. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 44 degrees with west winds 5 to 10. Tuesday, mostly cloudy. 78 for a high tomorrow. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 46 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny, highs back near 80 with south winds 5 to 10 early, picking up 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Thursday, mostly sunny, 77. Friday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 72. And then for the weekend, mostly sunny and 76 on Saturday, mostly sunny, 74 on Sunday. So pretty warm week, spring-like all week long here. And it looks like not too, at least the first half of the week, this 10, 15 mile now breezes at worst. I don't know. They haven't talked about wind yet for the back half of the week, but they have not mentioned anything yet. So, but it is New Mexico. You know how that works. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Nick Cirilla, the new CEO of Loveless Regional Hospital. Nick Cirilla on the other side. Don't go away.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
This country can sure be windy in the springtime, and we all know the best thing about wind is when it stops. Well, your friends at Roswell Ford can't do anything about the wind, but we can sure help you find the right car or truck. Roswell Ford has the biggest selection of nice pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Each one carefully inspected and backed with a 3-day money-back guarantee. We also have brand new Fords arriving almost every day, so you'll want to check with us frequently to be sure you don't miss something. And when your vehicle needs service, remember that Roswell Ford offers free pickup and delivery, so you don't have to get out in the wind. Or the Roswell Ford mobile service van can come to you and take care of most routine maintenance at your house or where you work. So whether you're shopping for a new vehicle or taking care of the one you have, you can't do better than Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main. Come see us, but remember to hang on to your hat and don't let that car door get away from you.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
When it comes to your business, Big O Tires knows how important it is to keep your commercial vehicles moving. Why not take your fleet vehicles to the team you trust? Big O Tires has a wide tire selection, offers quality automotive services, and provides priority appointments. With over 60 years experience, our technicians will get your operation back in action quickly. Roll into Big O Tires, your one-stop shop for all your commercial vehicle needs.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, the new CEO for Lovelace Regional Hospital here in Roswell, Nick Shirilla, joining us in studio this morning. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome to Roswell.
Absolutely.
Is this your first time in this? I know you spent time in Albuquerque,
correct,
but down in this part of the state, is your first time here, or did you get some time the first stint in New Mexico?
I made a day trip 3 or 4 years
saw
ago.
some aliens and
saw some aliens,
ate some lunch and went back up.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you came from Athens, Texas, prior to this. Do they have that mindset like they do here in New Mexico, where we'll drive 3 hours for lunch, or is that not a thing there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not my thing.
That was something we learned when I moved to New Mexico. I was like, we're going to Albuquerque for lunch. I was like, that's 3 hours away. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go. But of course, but you did spend some time with Lovelace in Albuquerque prior to being in Athens there. So
yes, that's where I started my healthcare career. I was there for about 3.5 years, and then made the transition to East Texas.
Very good. So I'm curious, because you were there with Lovelace. So I imagine coming to here, it's kind of like putting on a comfortable coat a little bit, where you're very familiar with how Lovelace runs things and kind of how their mindset and how things happen here.
Yeah, that was the easy transition.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a completely different market, completely different doctors, so you have to get acclimated to
Sure.
that. So,
and that's actually kind of where I was kind of curious about. Do you run a hospital in Albuquerque different than you run a hospital in Roswell? Just because, I mean, at the end of the day, you have people need medical attention, you help them. That's what. But obviously, the types of patients, where they come from, that does that come into play on how you operate as a hospital?
For sure. So I mean, the systems, the processes, they're generally the same. You don't steer too far away from that. But when it comes to taking care of the community, you find out what the community needs, and you connect with the doctors and what they can do, and you try to fill those gaps if there are any gaps.
Sure.
And you try to take care of the patients in this community.
Sure. Is it kind of, because obviously when you're in a larger city, more amenities, more doctors, more specialized medicine is able to be provided there, where you get into what still is considered rural medicine, even though we're a town of 50,000, and some would argue that, but in the big scope of things, that compared to a hospital in New York City, this is a rural hospital, which means you're not going to get the big special, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you're going to have your cardiologist and urologist, but if you need that unique specialist, the odds of them being in Roswell, New Mexico are slim to none. So is it a juggling act a little bit that way? It's like, oh, we got to get the right mix of specialists so we meet everyone's needs, but at the same time being realistic, knowing we're not going to get the world-renowned surgeon. You know what I'm saying? Is that come into play as a CEO for a hospital like this?
Absolutely, and it's all about building the relationships. It's knowing that I can't just rely on my connections to Lovelace. I have to rely on the other connections, the other CEOs of the other facilities in the Southeast community to make sure that we can take care of everybody here. I mean, the last thing we want to do is take a patient from Roswell, Artesia, or something, and always send them to Lubbock or to Albuquerque. So if we can create an environment where we can all work together to take care of the patient here, that's something we would rather do.
Sure.
But I know for, certain things, a specialized cardiac care, they're going to go to Albuquerque, they're going to go to Lubbock.
Sure.
For babies, for
Well,
NICUs, we're going to connect to our people in Albuquerque and send them there.
Sure, absolutely.
It's just not something that we can build a program around here, but so it's a juggling act.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we have Medevac and things like that,
Exactly.
and thank goodness we have some pretty good ones in the region, and they get people to Albuquerque, El Paso, wherever they need to get them to
As long as
get
it's not windy like Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. As long as that doesn't come into play. Obviously, though, you come here to I imagine coming to this hospital because for Buddy Daniels, the person that did an excellent job. You look at Lovelace's track record here, award-winning service, high marks in all of the, the safety and practices and standards of things. I imagine that makes your job a little bit easier rolling in. You don't have to fix a lot of broke things here. So, I mean, what's kind of, how do you want to put your stamp now that, obviously you don't have to come in and fix a bunch of problems because things seem to be going pretty good. So as a CEO, is it just your job to kind of take it to the next level now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's continuing to continue to do what we do really well, and then adding in some things that some programs that we want to have, specialized cardiac care, maybe chest pain accreditation, little things like that that we can put a stamp on out here, and then continuing on what Buddy had already established.
Sure.
We don't want to, but then little things always pop up and things always change. New leadership comes in, and people might have different interactions with me, and you just got to work with those individuals and continue to go forward.
Sure. Let me ask: were you in Athens during the COVID deal, or were you still in Albuquerque?
No, I was in Albuquerque originally, and then Athens, and yeah.
Okay.
So.
I was just kind of curious, seeing, as far as running the hospital during that time, was there a lot of lessons learned from that? Where did your mindset of how hospitals, I'm just curious, going into COVID, we all learn lessons from, I mean, for you as a person in this industry now, CEO here, what's kind of the lessons learned you take from COVID and you say, okay, now that I got my hospital here, I want to incorporate some of this. What's some of that for you?
I think one thing we learned is patients can handle being sick at home more so than coming into the facility. So you did see a big drop in ED visits after every single session or big breakout of COVID. So it's adapting to that. How can we take care of patients in their home? So a lot of systems are utilizing remote patient monitoring now. So you can check into the ED, but then we can send you home with some technology, and then we can monitor the patient at home.
Absolutely. Not to mention, from a financial standpoint, that's got to save you time and money and everything else, just because, you can see a lot more patients in that short time. And it's great. But, obviously during COVID, we did want people coming in and things. We didn't want to keep spread. But really this, we can... Imagine this gives you a whole triage tool for your medical staff. I mean, obviously, if there's people that need to be in a building to get, that's what's going to happen. But this allows sometimes, and even post-COVID, where you can say, hey, we can knock this out on a quick face-to-face FaceTime call or whatever, as opposed to you sitting in a doctor's office, waiting for 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, to get to the doctor, get in there, the whole rigmarole. So I would imagine, even from a financial standpoint, not only does it make you better at customer service, but also doesn't hurt you guys' bottom line a little bit. Makes it a little easier for you to swallow.
Telemedicine was huge. I mean, I remember, when I was back in Albuquerque doing just a basic primary care visit with my doctor over my phone, little things like that. And Albuquerque is piloting a program where we have nurses taking care of ED patients through a screen now. So it helps alleviate some of the shortages that we have with nurses. So, I mean, we've had to adapt, we've had to pivot, and I mean, COVID's taught us a lot, and we're still learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of curious, what do you see as a CEO, some of the future technology that could come from this? Things that maybe are a little behind on the evolutionary process now, but say 5-10 years, it might be a mainstay in a hospital of this size.
I mean, and I'll go back to the remote patient monitoring. I think that's here to stay.
Yeah,
I think it's taking care of our patients where they want to be taken care of.
Gotcha.
Not every visit needs to end up in the hospital, and it's making sure we can monitor them and making sure that they're taken care of in their homes.
Good deal.
I think that's the biggest one that's really coming out of this, and really trying to mitigate the staffing shortages.
Sure.
Whatever technology can come out of that is going to help us going forward.
Does that give you a tool that you get to use because being part of Loveless, the good news is there's a network of Loveless. There's Loveless in Albuquerque. That means they've got Loveless staff in multiple areas and things like that. Does that allow you to pull some of that where you're okay, maybe we don't have the specialists here in Roswell, but Albuquerque's got the specialists. We can put is that a tool that you guys are using or something to use in the future here?
Not currently.
Okay.
I could definitely see it happening in the next 2 to 5 years.
Sure.
But not currently.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was like, because I would think that would be kind of an advantage of being Loveless. Like, hey, we got a network of hospitals. Why not let our network help everybody in the network, so to speak? So I would imagine at some point that'll, of course, I know how doctor schedules are and things, and it's like, unless you split them in half, you're going to need to do a multiplicity thing where you can make 3 of them. But until that happens, then that might be a little tricky. So talk a little bit about what you come into here. Tell folks about, because this is the thing people may not realize. There's a lot of services that Loveless provide right here in town. You don't have to go to Albuquerque. You don't have to go to Lubbock. You could do it right here in your own backyard. And I know with Matt, I'll joke about this. You can even come for lunch and eat at the hospital, because I always talk about the burritos every time. And so he's waiting for it. So, so you can come and have a burrito. But yeah, talk a little bit about some of the different, like Score Orthopedics and some of these specialty clinics that are available right here in town.
Yeah. So I mean, we have a great general surgeon, Dr. Paul Torres. He's a general surgeon. He can help with your hernia. He can take a lot of your GI. Take care of a lot of your GI issues.
I think there's a lot of people in town that know him and are pretty happy he's in town.
Absolutely. So he's sticking with us. We have Score Orthopedics, Dr. Latimer, who's been in the community for
another staple.
Yeah, another staple in the community. Does a lot of great work with sports medicine. Dr. Frank Bryant, a great orthopod. So a lot of good surgeons in the community, as well as our cardiac care. We just in the last 6 to 10 months, we brought on Dr. Amanda Ryan from Carlsbad, and we have 24/7 cardiac care at our facilities. So we're doing a lot of great things, and it's building upon those good things and seeing what else we can do for the community.
Absolutely, too. Of course, and this is something, and I'm kind of curious too, because Roswell has a unique situation. We have 2 hospitals, so obviously, yes, they're in. Their 2 hospitals are in competition, but at the same time, there's a lot of partnering, a lot of going on, because obviously, because of the work you do, if you have patients that they've got, and that's something that happens between hospitals all the time. That's a normal thing. Is that a unique thing to Roswell, or is that something just because any city that has multiple hospitals town this size, we're like, well, we got 2 hospitals. We're pretty fancy, Albuquerque got, hold my beer. Here's a bunch more, But is that normal operating procedure in cities that have, or is that? I'm just kind of curious, because all we got's the 2, and is it unique, or is that just common practice?
It's common. It's learning to work together and how you can, and what aspects you can work together.
Sure.
You don't have to compete on everything.
Sure.
There's a lot. They have trauma at Eastern. That's not something that we have. So it's. If we have a patient that comes in that needs, a higher level of care, we're going to send them there first and foremost if we can, versus sending them all the way to Albuquerque or Lubbock. We want to serve the people of our community. So yeah.
Sure. Well, it's the best of both worlds. In an emergency and urgent care situations, we got all resources, even other hospitals at your disposal. Obviously, when it comes, and on the flip side, it's like when it comes to elective or procedures that aren't necessarily emergency or urgent, you got a choice now, and you've got a choice to say, who I want treat me for that and all that. So it's kind of nice. At the end of the day, we the citizen benefit the most out of it here. But
absolutely,
but it is nice to know that we do have 2 hospitals here. And between the 2 of you, we've got some of the best healthcare, especially in a community this size, that anybody could ever imagine. You know what I mean? That's something that I don't think people around here quite get, or maybe they do. I don't know. That it's kind of weird, a community this size to have this much. Like normally, a community this size, we're going to Albuquerque. We're going to we're going someplace to get healthcare needs taken care of. Where Roswell, over the last since Loveless is established and set roots up here in town, we've gone from that we go to places to now we're the hub. I'm not going to lie, we're not Albuquerque or Lubbock, but people from Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, Eunice, they're all coming up here for medicine. And I think Loveless is one of the main reasons why that's that case. So that's awesome. We love that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I just think, and by the way, they have good burritos too. So you've been in? Have you been a month here yet, or is it
just over a month? About a month and a half.
Okay,
it's the middle of January.
So getting settled, and what's been some local favorites already since you've been in town? Anything?
I've been to Antigua quite a few times.
Okay. Of course, you've been in Albuquerque. You were green. You were red and green eyes already.
I'm Christmas. Yeah, I love the food. It's one thing I missed when I was in East Texas.
So is that a draw over there? Like, hey, y'all got green chili in Roswell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said, okay.
Yeah,
that was
right into my contract.
Yeah. He was like, what question you have for us? Do you have green chili? Yes. All right. Then I will take the job.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I haven't done much. I'm kind of a homebody, and I'll stay home and cook during the week. But,
gotcha.
Try to get out at least.
Well, is family in town yet? Are they still getting settled or getting everything moved out of town?
No, they're still in East Texas.
So you're kind of a little bachelor in it right now.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I gotcha. So do doctors invite you over for dinner and all that?
Time to time, yes.
Yeah, I didn't know how that works.
Meeting individuals, other members of the community.
Poor Nick, everyone's out of town. He needs a meal. Let's invite Nick over. I get it. That's good because now you find out what doctors can cook and which ones can. You're like, don't go to his house for a holiday party.
One of our docs is a coffee roaster, and I just got a fresh bag of Ethiopian coffee.
Oh wow!
So I can't complain. Yeah,
that's another thing. They get to because they need good shifts. They can butter you up with coffee and things.
Exactly.
Like that. Doctors have good, nice gifts. They get I'm kidding, of course, but and this is what bringing it back home. If folks are listening and if you're holding off on medical procedures that haven't been in a while. I know this was a COVID thing, but if you're still in that, I don't want to get out and go and do. Please don't ignore your health. Please keep and again, getting back to what we were talking about earlier with telehealth and all these other resources available. It's easier than ever to stay in contact with your healthcare providers, and so please reach out. Doctors and nurses and the staff, they do everything they can to help you, but at the end of the day, if you don't make the decision to get your butt into the office or make that appointment, there's not much they can do for you. So please take your health seriously. Do your screenings. That's the thing. I'm about 50 here, and growing up younger, medicine was a different ideology back then. It was kind of that old school, go to the doctor, get your lollipop. Where now everything's more about preventative, and so these screenings and things, this is what it's all about now. Making sure you hit those milestones, and you hit the certain, okay, it's that age, time for the colonoscopy. It's that age, time for my mammogram. It's that age, time for, my first whatever. That's the way of the world now. And so, stay on top of this stuff. And that goes, and the thing is, because I'm that same way. I know, a colonoscopy, and I'm right around that. I'm in that window now where I've had my first ones and all that stuff. And I will tell you this: once you do the first one, it's old hat after that. Most of it, we build all this mess up in our head. And after I had my first colonoscopy, I was kind of like, that was all of it. I slept. I said, because you wake up and you're like, I feel pretty good. That's the best nap I ever had. A little woozy afterward, but it was a good nap. It's like, let's go. It really, the worst part obviously is the prep work, but we overhype this stuff in our head. So that's what I'm saying is don't let that happen. Please schedule an appointment. If you go, I would just always Google Loveless, but I think it's loveless.com. I think it is. It takes you right to the website, and you can see all the local providers here. If you're looking for any, see what services you need, specialists, you can see the whole gamut there at loveless.com. You can even, if you want to, just come on down to the hospital, to the main desk, say, hey, I'd like to, talk with someone about that, or, while you're there, have breakfast or lunch, and then, but please reach out and get your appointment scheduled. Obviously not all the Loveless doctors are at the hospital. Some are at some of the other buildings here in town, but they're all right here local to you. So good deal. So anything you wanted to mention, anything that you wanted to talk about that we just skipped or didn't get a chance to cover?
No, I appreciate that nice plug there at the end. And you said it's part of our responsibility doctors aren't magicians. They can't solve everything. We have to be responsible and make sure we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. It's just like any other thing in life. it's a relationship you have with your healthcare professionals. You're all a team trying to keep you healthy. And at the end of the day, the doctors and nurses and everybody can do their part, but you've got to meet them in the middle and some, or at least stay in touch and stay. I get it. You deal with diabetes or something, you get hit with that, and you're kind of like, all right, now I got a whole lifestyle change here. And some come kicking and screaming, some come, open arms. But the facts don't change. You got to work on that. So let the Loveless staff talk to you about all that stuff. And that's another. When you talk about that kind of thing, there's. If you get those kind of diagnoses and where you have to do lifestyle changes, they have the experts too that can, all right, let's make this not so bad. Talk to our experts, talk to our people that can give you alternatives, that can help you, work with you to get a plan to make this a manageable thing for you. So that's what they do. So good deal. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure you got a few fires to stomp out back at the office here. So or at least a few doctors are want to hey Nick, can I get a good shift? Here's some coffee. It's like good to be the boss. But look forward to seeing more of you here, and welcome to Roswell.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Anytime. All right, it is 7:40.
Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. The State House has endorsed a plan to ask voters to end New Mexico's status as the only state without a salaried legislature. The plan won approval Saturday, largely along party lines, with Democrats in favor. The newspaper says the plan would amend the New Mexico Constitution to establish a citizen commission that would set a salary for the state's 112 lawmakers. The measure is due to go before voters next year if the Senate agrees to the plan in the final 2 weeks of this year's session. An environmental group out of Santa Fe called Wild Earth Guardians is trying to block an Eddy County oil and gas facility from operating. The group is petitioning the federal government, objecting to a state permit for emissions of potential air pollutants for the XTO Energy-owned facility. The group argues that the permit does not prevent dangerous air pollution from escaping the facility about 17 miles east of Malaga. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Biden is now making moves to make America even more dependent on China. You can't make this up. This was reported by the Daily Caller. The Biden administration is now considering easing restrictions on American investments in China via an executive order by requiring notifications to the federal government as opposed to blocking the investments. Why would we do this? Why would he give, after he depleted our strategic petroleum reserves, why would Joe Biden give and sell the communist Chinese oil when they are now our number one geopolitical threat and foe?
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Listen, the last time the economy looked like this, the stock market tanked 50%. The U.S. dollar lost 46% of its value, and the price of oil quadrupled. Yet while the U.S. economy collapsed and inflation ran through the roof, the price of gold shot up 1,300%, and silver rocketed over 2,400%. So if history repeats itself, we could see it happen again. Can you afford to miss what could be the biggest gold and silver rush of our generation? That's why I want you to call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD, because when you do, you'll not only get the chance to protect your retirement savings with gold and silver, you could get up to $10,000 in free silver just for doing it. This is a rare opportunity, so don't miss what could be your best opportunity to protect your retirement savings. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure developing to our east with downslope flow, and that'll keep us very mild today. Our afternoon highs in the lower 80s. Some sun and some clouds and just a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy and will drop into the mid and upper 40s. Looks like some more cloud cover coming in on Tuesday. Slightly cooler, will stay in the mid to upper 70s. Cloudy on Wednesday and about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. A higher open for Wall Street this morning as the S&P looks to add to its Friday gains, and shares of Apple and Merck giving the Dow a nice shot in the arm. The stock market has found some footing over the past week after a roller coaster start to the year, where a swift rise gave way to a steep tumble. At the center of it all has been high inflation and expectations for what the Fed will do about it. It's a busy week ahead for economic reports. The Fed tomorrow to release its monthly update on consumer credit. The U.S. government issues a closely watched report on job openings Wednesday, and a broader monthly employment report will come on Friday. The Danish Defense Ministry banning its employees from having TikTok on their work phones as a cybersecurity measure. The wildly popular Chinese-owned video app coming under increased scrutiny in the West over security concerns. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Listen, you want a pizza? You can get one of those anywhere. But if you want authentic, traditional, brick oven-style pizza, forget about it. There's only one place in town, our Pizza Center in Roswell. I'm talking about authentic pies using authentic ingredients. Plus, pasta, salads, wings, subs, burgers, and a whole menu chock full of your favorites. You can dine in or have it delivered up to 5 miles. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 505 North Main in Roswell. Or check out RoswellPizzaCenter.com. And hey, mention you heard it on the radio and buy one pizza, get one free. Our Pizza Center, a taste of the old world, right here.
The presiding judge of the Roswell section of the Pecos River Stream Adjudication has issued an order allowing owners of a water right in the Roswell Artesian Basin to file their claim to an earlier priority date if the owner can show that their water right was related to a prior use of surface water. A copy of the order can be obtained from the district court or the office of the state engineer. If you believe that you have a claim, you are urged to contact your attorney for legal advice. If you receive a show of cause packet, you must respond within 60 days of the date of receipt. You may also contact the office of the state engineer for additional information.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Nutrien Ag Solutions of Artesia is looking for a CDL driver to join their team. A CDL Class A with hazmat endorsement is preferred, but will accept applicants with a CDL Class B. Applicants without hazmat endorsement, please be willing to obtain one. Nutrien Ag Solutions is a respected and well-established company who values their employees and offers a generous benefits package, competitive pay, and will train the right candidate. To apply, stop in person, Nutrien Ag Solutions, 103 East Mill Road in Artesia, or visit online at nutrien.com. And for more information, call Andrea at Nutrien Ag Solutions, 575-748-3510. Equal Opportunity Employer. Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. There's always something new and exciting waiting for you. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all of Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecued fried rice in town. All made fresh. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at the Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, No, I'm growing like a bamboo. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:54. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up the show. Of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com and click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll see all of our videos and interviews there. Check it out at your leisure. Watch them to your heart's content. I saw something on Facebook that was kind of or was it Twitter? I don't remember which, but I saw it. It was kind of cool. Like the organ players at baseball games and hockey games and things like that. Well, I don't think a lot of the stadiums actually have an organ player anymore. A lot of them, it's computerized or some program or something. Few places don't still have the person. And I was watching a video of a guy that does the organ playing for St. Louis teams. Like I guess he does some for the Cardinals. And then because the clip I saw showed him playing for the St. Louis Cardinals and then the Blues. And then most of the clips were him playing organ for the hockey team, the St. Louis Blues.
Okay.
And it was fascinating to watch the video because he's sitting up there with the organ and he's got a screen, showing the game and the action. You kind of look out and see. But, of course, he's timing his organ playing to, like, stoppages of play and the dun, 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 all that stuff going on, which was cool to watch that whole dance happen.
Knowing the kind of timing that it takes to pull that off.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like you said, being able to play both. There's a top organ and a bottom organ, and they both have harmonies, and knowing where you're doing.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then he takes another level because he plays songs that you would have never thought you would have heard on an organ before.
Really?
Like Killing in the Name of. Gangster's Paradise. And it sounds great. You're hearing the.
Oh, okay. I got to tell you. So that just reminds me, and I'm not meaning to interrupt your story.
Yeah.
I was up at Walmart the other day. I'm getting into my car, and I hear. Where's that song? Hang on. California by Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
California Love.
Mm-hmm. He did that song too. Now that you say that was one of the songs he did.
On an electric violin. Some dude was set up in front of, I guess, the 0 degrees up north.
Yeah.
And was rocking out on this, and he had it cranked up, his amped up, this electric violin
cool.
fiddle. It was real
We should get the organ guy with him, and they could do the whole song with violin and organ. How cool would that be?
Heck yeah.
But I was blown away by how cool it was. Now I'm kind of like want to pay more attention to that stuff next time I go to games and stuff.
People who actually do perform and do organ playing like that. It is fascinating.
It's
a skill on a whole other level.
The Washington Capitals. I mean, they had an organ player. I don't know if they still do or if it's digitized or not. But they also had a fan. They call him Goat Boy, and I don't know why they call him Goat Boy.
So it's Brewer.
It's not Brewer,
no.
but he's been doing it for, I don't know, when I was a teenager, and I think he still does it. And he goes to the Caps games. He's got a trumpet, and he literally just walks around the arena, and then he'll go to different concourses, come out and do the "Let's Go Cap," bam, 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 and then the whole "Let's Go Cap," and so he's not an employee of the Washington Capitals or the Verizon Center or any of that stuff. He's just a season ticket holder that loves the Caps, and he's like a tradition. And so, I don't know, they may have hooked him up with tickets now because he's been doing it for 50 years.
Mike, but he's their barking guy.
Exactly.
He doesn't get hooked up with the times of the games, the dates of the games. He doesn't get hooked up with anything, okay? Right. You can rest assured, bet your bottom dollar that he's in it for the love of the game.
Yeah. Well, God bless him, because he's kind of part of the tradition, and I got to be weird. It would be weird to go to a Caps game in Washington and not have Goat Boy come out playing the trumpet every once in a while. Dun, 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 dun. Basically doing what the organ player does. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that whole, if you do a TikTok or Twitter or whatever, St. Louis Blues organ player, type in something like that. There's this medley of him playing different songs, and the Killing the Name was pretty funny when they I was like, wow, it was cool. I was just like, so cool to hear that these songs from my younger days now playing on an organ. It does make you feel old because I'm already at that place where you get in an elevator and some of the songs you're like, that was popular when I was relevant. Yeah,
right. There's a song. what was it? It's an AJR song. It's like, now we hear our songs now you can hear us in the produce aisle. But what if one day people say, who the hell is that?
Yeah. Well, I do that every once in a while. I'll be walking around like any big box store, and then I hear a song. I'm like, I've never thought I'd live the day where I'm hearing this played as Muzak over speakers in a store. It's like, welcome to the jungle's Muzak now. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, Walmart radio does go a little rogue every now and again.
All right, it is closing in on 10 o'clock. Thank you very, very, very much for allowing us to be a part of your day. If you miss any part, like I said, ksvptv.com or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall, we'll have that for you. And don't forget, Bulldog and Lady Bulldog basketball fans will have coverage of their playoff run beginning tomorrow on our sister station, 990 AM and 93.7 FM KSVP, audio only, ksvptv.com, and our Facebook wall. So, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a great week. We'll talk to you mañana. Take care, everybody.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.